756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I'm Doug Brown. Doctors are saying they've never seen such a speedy recovery from blood clot treatment. ESPN's Shams Charania reports Bucks guard Damian Lillard is ready for full contact workouts and to come back to the team. He won't play in Game 1 against the Pacers on Saturday. The Mavericks win in Sacramento in the play-in tournament. Can they do it again in Memphis tomorrow night? ESPN's Tim Legler.
You can't just change your identity overnight, even though you make it a priority. Memphis does play with a lot of pace. They're going to get up the floor earlier against the double big lineup, so it's a different type of challenge.
Tim Legler, the last two play-in games tomorrow night on ESPN Radio starting at 6:30 Eastern with the Heat and the Hawks, followed by the Mavericks and the Grizzlies. Baseball today, the Diamondbacks win their fifth in a row, sweeping the Marlins in Miami 6-4. Pavin Smith drives in two, including a home run. The Pirates shut out the Nationals 1-0 thanks to an O'Neal Cruz leadoff home run in the first inning.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Friday. With the draft less than a week away, I'll tell you what the headlines will be the morning after the first round. It's unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt.
You know what? Happy Easter to you, kid. Blessings upon you and your family, and I hope the Easter Bunny brings you all kinds of candy and good stuff. Not really. Shut up, loser. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
I hope you get bullied in school. Musef. Trisha. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. Not really. I don't encourage bullying in any way, shape, or form. Kid just got under my skin today. What can I say? All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Tommy Hat, be here in 15 minutes. Tom Hart, Ben McDonald, they'll be on the call for LSU and Alabama Game 1 tonight out at Alec Box Stadium. Kendall Rogers next hour. Tim Brando will be here in hour 3. You may not know this, but Tim Brando was actually the original host of ESPN College Game Day and worked with Lee Corso. Before Chris Fowler ever took that seat, now Reese Davis, Tim Brando was first. Corso, of course, today, ESPN via release announced that Lee Corso is retiring from College Game Day. He'll do the season opener on August the 30th, week 1, and then he will step aside. So Tim Brando will be here in hour 3, and we'll reminisce a bit about Coach Corso's career. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
So Tom Hart will be here in about a dozen minutes. We'll talk some LSU Alabama. Again, he'll be on the call. LSU football put a button on spring practice here on Thursday. Of course, they had their open scrimmage, formerly the spring game, on Saturday. Well, Brian Kelly wanted to make sure that he utilized the full 34-day window. Remember, from the time you have your first spring practice, you have 34 days to have 15 workouts. So Brian Kelly took 2 practices, moved them after the spring game. So they practiced Tuesday of this week and Thursday to utilize that full window. So today was the last practice. And players met with reporters afterwards. And most notably, like the newsiest thing was Kaleb Jackson when he was meeting not with the TV, but with the print reporters. So Hunt Palmer was there and got Kaleb Jackson when he was asked point blank about his future plans, because that's one of the guys many have speculated could be portal bound, especially with the emergence of Harlem Berry. Well, Kaleb Jackson put that to rest.
But just to make it clear, the portal's open, but you're not going in?
No, I'm not going in.
I don't do it again, please. I'm sorry. Do it again.
But just to make it clear, the portal's open, but you're not going in?
No, I'm not going in.
Okay. Kaleb Jackson not going in the transfer portal. I think that is a huge win for LSU for a lot of reasons. Number one, obviously, it maintains continuity. It's another very talented offensive player amid a ton of very talented offensive players. I will say this. I think Joe Sloan, it's a good problem, but he has an unenviable task of trying to find a way to keep everybody healthy. When you have as much offensive skill talent as LSU does on this team, that's a lot of mouths to feed, y'all. I mean, we were talking about how, a year ago, Josh Williams had 31 receptions, which is a big number. And Harlem Berry, I think it's very natural to fill in that role. And in my head, Harlem Berry is a 5 to 7 touch guy as a true freshman. And I got some pushback on that from some people who might be a little familiar with the situation. It might be more like 10 to 12 a game. I'm going, how? How do you get Nick Anderson and Aaron Anderson and Xavion Thomas and Chris Hilton and Trades Green and Bauer Sharp and Caden Durham and Harlem Berry and Kaleb Jackson and Destin Hill? How do you get all of these guys touches? It's going to be a real challenge to distribute the ball and get them all touches. But the thing specifically that I like about Kaleb Jackson in this offense is he is different. In the same way that we were talking about LSU's receivers and why I love Nick Anderson is because really all of LSU's receivers, they're kind of the same guy. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful. They're all very skilled and talented and explosive. But when you look at Aaron Anderson and Xavion Thomas and, for example, Aaron Anderson, 5'8", 187. Chris Hilton, 6', 192. Kyle Parker, 5'11", 197. Xavion Thomas, 5'10", 195. Jelani Watkins, 5'9", 163. My point is, all of these guys, Barry and Brown, they're all 6 foot or shorter, and none of them are over 200 pounds. So you bring in Nick Anderson, and he's 6'4", 219 and can fly. He brings a different dimension. So when you have someone like Caden Durham, for example, 5'9", 205, low to the ground, great balance, good maneuverability, and as we saw at times, great breakaway speed. You add Harlem Berry to the mix, another guy, 5'8", 5'9", 185 pounds, can fly, great hands, maneuverability. But then you look at Kaleb Jackson, 6 foot, 235. He provides a different dimension at that position. Kaleb Jackson garnered so much attention because before his freshman season, I don't know if y'all remember this, but LSU had a scrimmage in Tiger Stadium and the media was allowed to attend. And Kaleb Jackson, the offense was very slow in this scrimmage. And Kaleb Jackson had the two most jaw-dropping plays. He broke about 5 tackles on a running play and scored around left end. And then he also caught a screen pass and took it 75 yards. It was a screen pass, incidentally, from Nussmeier. He caught it and took it 75 yards up the east sideline. And made a guy miss, broke a tackle, then outraced everybody. And everyone's going, oh, my God, he's next. And then they go play Mississippi State, and he just murdered some poor child on the sideline, if you all remember that play. So there was so much excitement about Kaleb Jackson because when he touched it, it was like, hold your breath, but there were limited touches. Well, I mean, my hand's in the air. Going into 2024, every interview I did, SEC Media Days or anywhere, preseason, hey, who's the guy to keep an eye on? My answer routinely was the guy right now who is not a household name, who will be by the end of the season, is Kaleb Jackson. And boy, did I whiff. I mean, John Emery went down with injury, as we saw, and Josh Williams was a consistent player, but that opened the door for Caden Durham, who on the road at South Carolina grabbed the reins and never let go. And so we only saw Kaleb Jackson have 44 rushing attempts for 150 yards. That's it. 44 in 13 games, he had 44 rushing attempts. So, there is, with no Josh Williams, a massive opportunity now. And the fact that he provides a different dimension opens the door for opportunity. But I think also with Harlan Berry coming in and JT Lindsey coming in June, there's a lot of people who, and by the way LSU has used Aaron Anderson and Xavier Thomas in the backfield in spring, a lot of people looked and said, maybe that's the open door for Kaleb Jackson to leave and go find a place where he's going to be able to get on the field. But he definitively said that's not happening. And look, this has been a process for Kaleb Jackson. Last September, this was the end of September, Brian Kelly met with reporters and talked about so this is a month into the season, about how they're still developing in that phase of Kaleb Jackson's career.
I think you got to look back on the history of Kaleb. Didn't play much football. It was actually a soccer player. Played very little high school football. And then he came in here and, his true freshman year, ran a couple of guys over and everybody thought he was going to win the Heisman. And so he's in a developmental phase. And so the more reps that he gets, the more things that he sees, the more kind of intuitiveness kind of begins to build in so he can break off of things and really do completely all the things that a back needs to do. That's the process he's in. He's still learning. I love the way he approaches it every day because he could be a guy that's sulking, but he does it the right way and goes to work every day the right way.
You love that. Now, Kaleb Jackson, when he met with reporters, also talked about remember, like the play we just talked about, that scrimmage, that was before his freshman season, and it garnered a ton of conversation about him. He talked about all that hype he had early before he even took a snap.
Growth-wise, like I said, I had to get way stronger mentally going through last year. Like, I went through my freshman year, and everybody saying, oh, Kaleb Jackson, the next this, next that, next this. Oh, he's going to be amazing. And I kind of got high on cloud nine thinking, okay, it's just going to happen. Like, if I just keep doing what I'm doing, it's just going to happen. And that's not how it happens. You got to stay in the film room. You got to stay doing this, stay doing that, and keep stacking and keep growing as a player. So, really, I just got to think, maybe I can shoot for the stars, but at the same time, I got to stay grounded and spill my feet off. I got to be Kaleb Jackson, you know what I'm saying? Just play like me, run like me, read like me, and, you know, I said, just be great like me.
There was another moment where I love that, by the way, the self-awareness to say, I got very high on my supply. The other thing, there was a play in fall camp last year where Kaleb Jackson took a pass from Garrett Nussmeier out in the flat, and he ran over Whit Weeks. He dump trucked Whit Weeks out in space. Knocked him back. Whit even joked about it later. It's like, I'm glad that guy's on our team. That's Whit Weeks. That's an All-American caliber linebacker that he went one-on-one and just bulldozed him. The video's up on Twitter if you want to see it. It's on the LSU official account. So he's had these moments where you go, it's in there. It's not just recruiting hype. Like, we've seen it in small supply, but God, if you could ever harness it and expand upon that, yeah, man, that's a guy that brings a different dimension to your offense. You'd love to see it. I'm glad he's staying because while I am very high, we know what Caden Durham can be, I'm very high on what Harlan Berry will be. I love the option of having someone who is physically built different so you have a variety. It's like at tight end. Trey'Dez Green is 6'7", 245, but you need the guy that can put his hand in the dirt and go bulldoze people as well. That's why someone like Bauer Sharp and Donovan Green, like all three of those guys have different skill sets, but they're all sort of interchangeable in spots as well. So yes, Kaleb Jackson staying is really significant news for LSU, and we're looking forward to seeing what he might be here in his junior season as he continues to progress throughout his career. So fantastic news with Kaleb Jackson returning to LSU for his junior season. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the Tigers. If you'll be at the box this weekend, 3 games, LSU and Alabama, make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light. Maybe you're boiling some mud bugs this weekend for Easter. Nothing goes together like buds and boils, like milk and cookies, like spaghetti and meatballs, like lamb and tuna fish. It's buds and boils. Bud Light, and crawfish boils. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. All right, it's After Further Review. Thursday show is brought to you by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. We'll knock out a break. Tommy Hart, he'll be on the call. Tommy Hart. Tommy Hart. I'll keep trying it. We'll workshop it a little bit. Tom Hart's calling the game tonight. We'll talk to him next.
After further review.
Hey, you need everything for Easter weekend. They got it over at Rouse's. You want some Easter candy for everybody to put out whenever you're having people over? You can get it at Rouse's. Maybe you're doing that Easter crawfish boil. You want your crawfish live or boiled. You can get them from Rouse's. My dad's going to go buy some boiled crawfish from Rouse's on Easter, and we're going to go over to his house and hang out and have a few. You want to buy some cold beer or waters or drinks for the whole family? They got that at Rouse's. You're making your groceries. Of course, you know Rouse's as well. Tomorrow, Good Friday. You may be off. We're off. That's awesome. But still a Friday in Lent. You're probably going to eat some food. And if you're abstaining from meat and you're going to have seafood, Rouse's has you covered. Of course, they've got the hot bar where you can have your hot and boiled seafood, be it crawfish or shrimp with corn, the potatoes, all the side. They got dozens of different seafood items where you can get your styrofoam box loaded up, $9.99 a pound for the seafood spectacular. Check it out at Rouse's. This feels like home.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
I just got this in the inbox. Got a TV broadcast change for LSU and Alabama this weekend. Tonight's game, Thursday, on ESPNU. Friday, which was stream only, has been added to the linear network at ESPN2. And then Saturday will be SEC Network. So tonight, ESPNU. Friday, ESPN2. Saturday, SEC Network. Guy on the call will be Tom Hart. Good enough to join us for a couple minutes here. Tom, how are you, man?
Are you telling me I have to skip golf tomorrow and I have to shave again?
It's tough life, man. Are you going to call all three?
Yes. Yeah, it'll be me and Big Ben.
Okay, I thought y'all were skipping the middle one.
We were until they made this linear change. So staying flexible.
Well,
it'll be great. I listen. I always love going to the box, and I think tonight is going to be, especially with Kate Anderson on the mound, is going to be a lot of fun. That being what it is, there's nothing like a Friday night. So, I kind of get the best of both worlds. I get to see Kate throw tonight, and then get a Friday night at the box tomorrow, which will be, I would assume, very lively.
Tom, plenty of time to play 18. Hell, you could probably play 36 if you tee off early enough tomorrow. You can get it all in.
It's a good point, but my tea time with a famous television director that lives in Baton Rouge wasn't until 3 o'clock, so I'm going to have to do some work to try and figure that out.
Or his initials MG?
Yes, yeah.
You're going to play with Mark Grant? Look, we can get.
I was going to.
If you listen, I'll talk to Mark. We'll get you another tea time. We'll get this thing worked out, right? Baton Rouge is a small town. You know somebody, you know everybody. You can get things worked out. If you want to play, we can make this happen, Tom.
Let's make it happen.
Okay, I'll call Mark.
Get out there before noon. Get the sweating done, get a shower in, and go to the ballpark. What's a better day than that,
That sounds pretty darn good to me. What would be better is if the Tigers go into tomorrow's game 1-0 in this series. They'll take on Alabama. Hey, have you had Alabama yet this year?
No, I have not. Spent some time with Rob Vaughn this week, but I have not had him yet. I'm really looking forward to seeing Justin LeBron, their all-everything shortstop. And, it is sacrilegious anywhere in the SEC to draw shortstop comps to the Bregmans and the Dansbys of the world. But this is a guy who could go 1-1 next year. In fact, Kylie McDaniel said that if he was in this year's draft, he'd be the top college player taken in this year's draft. You could argue about the strength of the draft or position players, whatever it may be, but there's nothing in my mind that there are two types of players that really stand out and get people to the ballpark when it comes to college baseball. That's the Friday night ace. Schemes obviously comes to mind, but there have been plenty who've been worth the price of admission, and a first-round shortstop. I mean, they just do things differently out there, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing him play for the first time.
Tom Hart's our guest. He's on Twitter at Tom_Hart. I think for LSU, the giant conversation all year has been what's happened after the rotation. The bullpen has been slow to come. It seems like it's come in the last couple weeks. I'm sure in your pre-series convos with Jay Johnson, that's come up. What have those discussions been like, Tom? What have been your observations of what LSU's had after their 3 starters?
Well, I think there's a lot of confidence in the first few guys out of the bullpen. I don't have a good feel for what they expected out of Guidry. Obviously, losing him for the year hurts. But the fact that he hadn't thrown, I don't know what they were planning on in terms of, how much they had invested in getting him to throw this year. So that timeline adds a little clarity once you get a hold of that. But I think it's bullpen depth just from a 30,000-foot view because I think the bullpen threw fairly well last week, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, 1 earned run, unless I'm mistaken. Am I getting them in Alabama?
They were great last weekend. The starters maybe didn't give you the length that they wanted at Auburn, but the bullpen was fantastic last week at Auburn.
Yeah, and nobody wants to hear, hey, it's okay to lose the series, but this league is so freaking loaded. And the first, 13 teams in the league, maybe 15 teams in the league, that there's going to be a heavyweight fight every weekend. And we say that every year, but I don't think we really mean it because I think you could go into any given weekend. And, Missouri is dreadful this year, so we put them to the side. And Florida's struggling, even though Florida's still talented. You put them to the side. I don't think we're going to know what this conference has until we get to Omaha and we look up and we start counting the numbers of teams that are wearing the SEC patches that are there. And I think it could be a big number. Because, remember, and the same thing goes for football, right? Like, the SEC and the Big Ten in football have put their stakes in the ground, and they have said, like, we are the best, and this is where the focus is. The Big Ten has a couple of pieces. UCLA is pretty good. Oregon seems like they're pretty good. But with the dissolution of the Pac-12, and the success that the SEC has had from a recruiting standpoint, from an investment standpoint, from the NIL standpoint, I just feel like all of this talent is more focused in this league than it's ever been. And I think it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out every week. You just got to avoid sweeps. And that was the biggest issue, in my opinion, last week.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, do you feel like so it's a fascinating conversation, right? Because we're still learning what it's going to look like with Power 4 instead of 5 and what it's going to look like with how committees handle the postseason. We just saw it with a 12-team college football playoff. We just saw it in men's basketball, right, where the SEC had more than half the league. I mean, they had 14 teams get, which is incredible. Do you have any thoughts, or have you had conversations about how the baseball committee might handle this? Like, I mean, there's a realistic situation where you could be talking about 6 national seeds from the SEC. Like, it's not ridiculous, right?
No, that's not ridiculous. But I'd have to do a little bit of research. I also don't feel like that's a huge departure because there have been enough 1 seeds and of the top 16. Like, there's been plenty of SEC teams in the mix in years past. To me, where I think you're really going to see it is take Texas A&M first. Texas A&M, given the schedule that they're playing right now and the gauntlet that they have to go through, I don't think anymore you look at the number of 13 conference wins and say that's the cutoff. No, that bar, if you want to look at it this way, that bar has been lowered. It's been expanded for SEC teams because of the weakness of other teams, other leagues. So I think 12 wins with the right schedule gets you in. You brought up basketball.
Yeah.
The comp was to the Big East in the Kemba Walker year. I think it was 2011 when they had how many teams they got in that year. Every one of those teams had a 500 record or better in conference play. What the SEC accomplished this year in men's basketball, especially with a team like Texas, is they established the strength of that record, that it was okay if you had a losing record and even at 4 games under 500. And I think that's where the bar is going to change this year when it comes to committee.
Yeah, seeing that the Texas team get in this year was kind of staggering, right? At 6-12 in the conference to get in. But you're right. It's going to be. We're all learning. We're all learning this together. Would you? Tom Hart's, I guess, a couple more minutes. Would you rather call a spring football game or a baseball weekend this time of year?
I'm going to take the easy way out and said I'd rather do both, which I've gotten to do, just about every year because most SEC schools pair it with a baseball weekend. What I love about the spring football weekends, and just to peel back the curtain just a little bit, is when we go in to meet with coaches on a Thursday or Friday of a spring football weekend, now maybe this has changed with the portal, but historically they're relaxed, they share a lot. I can fill my notebook and know about that team for the entire year because I've got nuggets on every single player. Because the coaches, the hay's in the barn, so to speak. There's still moves to be made and portal pickups here and there. That's the real value for me. It's not necessarily the game. But what's going to happen, here's my question, but with the dilution of spring games, and maybe this isn't an issue at LSU or at Alabama or Texas A&M, but the need to drum up interest in the sport and in the team to push ticket sales, to make sure people are excited about the team, I feel like that's completely gone out the window this year, and I'm curious how the marketing departments are going to handle that, going forward.
Yeah, it's all fascinating as it evolves. One thing I know, Tom, is on August the 30th when LSU plays Clemson, no matter what people think of the portal or the spring games, like everybody's watching that game. You know what I mean? Like it's when the fall rolls around, we all know where our appointment viewing is going to be. Issue at hand, though, baseball, people here are fired up about it. It's LSU and Alabama 3-game series. Tom Hart, Ben McDonald will be on the call for all 3. Where are you going to dinner tonight so everybody can come crash your dinner and take pictures with you?
That's a great question. Probably nowhere tonight. I've got an opportunity tomorrow.
Okay.
Saturday is a 5 o'clock start, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, there's an opportunity to maybe hit one of Ben's favorite places. Although Ben's favorite place is probably the smoker with something that he just shot.
Hey, man.
And it's been sitting in the freezer.
And brown water in the glass. Like, that's Ben.
There's no doubt.
It's not a bad way to go about it. But, hey, look, golf tomorrow. If you need a dinner reservation on Saturday, just ask. We can help. You know how it goes around here. It's small. It's small Baton Rouge. We help. So Hey, have a great call, man. We always appreciate a couple of minutes in the visit. Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Great to be with you.
That's our pleasure. Of course. Tom Hart, he's on Twitter at Tom_Hart. Y'all give him a follow. He's always a lot of fun, man. Tom's great on every broadcast. I think the Tom Jordan Cole football broadcast on SC Network is awesome. Tom on baseball loosens the collar a little bit even more, and they're great. Tom and Ben will be awesome. So looking forward to hearing those guys on the call this weekend. All right, it is After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020. So many former LSU Tigers have trusted Dr. Blake Williamson with their eyes, with their refractive procedure. You go into the Williamson Eye Center, their Suma location off of Bluebonnet. They have on the second floor, they have a big giant wall. It's basically just dedicated to all of their patients that are or were athletes. Like, gosh, I remember Devin White telling the story. Devin White and I did a sit-down with Dr. Blake years ago. Devin was telling a story where he's playing Mike linebacker. He's looking to the sideline. He couldn't see the sideline to get what they're signaling in. I mean, now they got the green dot and everything like that, but like he couldn't even see the sideline to get a signal. So Dr. Blake Williamson did Devin White's LASIK. Guys like Caleb on Chestnut. It's amazing to see the long list. Even Paul Maneri, who had his custom lens replacement done over at the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. Okay, it is After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here for this afternoon. We will get to Kendall Rogers 45 minutes from right now. We'll preview the weekend ahead in the Southeastern Conference and around college baseball. Tim Brando to start hour number 3. If you missed the news earlier today, Lee Corso is retiring from College Game Day. Tim Brando was the original College Game Day host and was there with Corso at his beginning on Game Day. So we'll get some context and some perspective from Tim Brando in hour 3. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. Another LSU football player has entered the transfer portal. We'll tell you who next on AFR.
After Further Review.
Love telling you about Action Industries and the Advanced Turnaround Group. The Advanced Turnaround Group over at Action Industries. Y'all, if you have a turnaround coming or know you will, you need someone to bid your job, would love it if you would let our friends over at the Advanced Turnaround Group have the opportunity to bid your job. The Advanced Turnaround Group, a subsidiary of Action Industries. They're a proud partner of LSU Athletics. They've been around for more than 4 decades. They know who they are. Most importantly, their safety record beats the industry standard, and they do exemplary work, which is why they've gotten hired year after year after year for 42, going to 43 years now. It's the Advanced Turnaround Group at Action Industries. They offer specialty welding. They have 24-hour assistance available for your turnaround, so that way you know you're always getting exceptional service, the job done right. It's at the Advanced Turnaround Group, a subsidiary of Action Industries. You can learn more online at actionindinc.com for Action Industries.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and the Baton Rouge Clinic bring you the 2025 Dreams Come True Radiothon. Dreams Come True is an organization designed to help grant dreams for children with life-threatening illnesses and their families. The following local businesses have also pledged to match your donations throughout the month: Lewis Mechanical, Patient Plus, Action Industries, Subaru of Baton Rouge, Service Chevrolet, Luba, and Duplessis Pool Builders. Visit 1045ESPN.com to help reach our goal, and together we can make dreams come true.
By the way, we have an add-on here. This you don't have this yet, but I'll throw it out because I just got the email. So Russell Shepard, who was in conjunction with us for our show last week, and Shep Boys, his company, they've donated items autographed by Justin Jefferson for our Dreams Come True Radiothon. So if you donate $25 or more between now and April the 30th, so between now and the end of the month, you'll have a chance to win one of these two pieces of memorabilia. So we'll draw with anybody who enters between now and the end of the month. You will enter to win. So there'll be two winners. And the prizes, by the way, are pretty awesome. One is an autographed Justin Jefferson Vikings jersey, and the other is an autographed Justin Jefferson LSU football. Forgive me, Paul. I'm trying to get you this full screen. I don't know why it's not cooperating. There we go. So there it is, if you want to pull that up, Paulie. So if you're watching with us, not listening, you can see it here. There we go. It's an autographed Justin Jefferson Vikings jersey and an autographed Justin Jefferson LSU football. So, again, if you can, please, a minimum donation of $25 to Dreams Come True of Louisiana, and you're entered to win those, which we'll draw at the end of the month. So good luck. And remember, Dreams Come True, this is the one, this is our one philanthropy that we do company-wide at Guarantee Media. So all of our station, everybody, this is the one thing we all come together to do every year. We all have different things that we're passionate about, no doubt, but the company-wide is this Dreams Come True Radiothon. Dreams Come True grants dreams for children who are fighting, critical or terminal illnesses, and they do amazing work. It's 100% of the dollars stay local in Louisiana. These are Louisiana children. A dream costs about $5,000, and it's anything they want. For some, it's Disney. For some, it's to go to a major sporting event. For some, it's to meet a celebrity. And Miss Becky and her staff do awesome work to pull these things together for these amazing kiddos. So if you can donate and be generous, that would be awesome. Please do. Just another incentive there that someone is on top of doing a great thing, and tax deductible, of course, as well. Your donation, someone's going to win a jersey and autographed jersey by Justin Jefferson. Someone's going to win the autographed football. So all you got to do is donate at least $25 to Dreams Come True of Louisiana. Thank you. All right, it's after further review. The portal window opened on Wednesday. It's open until next Friday at midnight, the 25th. And a second LSU player has gone in the portal. We know John Emery entered the portal. That was expected, right? We knew John was going to play his seventh season. It wasn't going to be at LSU, so he's formally in the portal. A second LSU player has entered the transfer portal. Javen Nicholas, the wide receiver, has put his name in. So Javen Nicholas out of St. Aug came to LSU Brian Kelly's first year in 2022 as a preferred walk-on, but earned a scholarship. And he played in nearly 30 games during his 3 seasons in Baton Rouge. He has had 4 receptions, but primarily as a special teamer. He returned 7 kickoffs and 4 punts during his career. So a guy who has, has had an opportunity coming to LSU as a walk-on from Louisiana and continued to just plug away and got his opportunity to play, but he's got 2 years of eligibility remaining, and he's going to try to go see if he can get somewhere where he's more in the mix. And this is one of those things where we talk about with the portal. Brian Kelly earlier this week said he wouldn't be surprised if everybody was back, like if there was no movement in the portal. And my feeling, as I shared with you, was, of course, LSU is going to have guys enter the portal just because it's not anything that Kelly did or didn't do right or Javen Nicholas did. It's just this is the nature of college football, as we all understand, and no program is immune. Guys have the opportunity to empower themselves to seek a better opportunity to play. And so Javen Nicholas is doing that. 3 years at LSU, and now he's got 2 years remaining. And you're looking at this season where you've added Nick Anderson and Barian Brown and Destin Hill, and Aaron Anderson's back, and Xavier Thomas is back, and Chris Hilton's back. And then you've got all these young, talented guys as well. You could just see him falling deeper and deeper on the depth chart, and even in special teams, and adding a guy like Barian Brown, who's going to return kicks and punts, at least be in the mix there with the guys you currently have. You could just see that the opportunities to get on the field aren't going to be plentiful for Javen Nicholas. So go somewhere else, get a chance to play, and certainly wish him the best. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Earlier today, we went and delivered the prize to our $5,000 winner. And a week from tomorrow, we will announce our $10,000 winner over at Parish Construction and Roofing. It's simple. You want to enter. All you got to do is sign up for a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. No purchase necessary. All you have to do is go to the website, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Sign up for a free, no-obligation roofing inspection, and we'll draw a week from tomorrow, and someone's going to win $10,000 cash. We'll send Terrio to your house with the money gun. We'll shoot you in the face with $10,000 cash. It'll be awesome. Anyway, most importantly, while we love doing stuff like that, we tell you do business with someone you know. We're never going to door knock. As a matter of fact, the Louisiana Department of Insurance and a lot of the Louisiana Roofing Contractors Association are all putting together a lot of different verbiage and restrictions in place to prevent people from door knocking. It's because it's sleazy and nobody wants to be bothered at home, and we'll never do it. Whenever you're ready, we'd love to help you out. We tell you do business with someone you know. That's me, that's Terrio, that's Richard Tilley, that's our great staff. If you need help, we'd love to help you out. We'll come give you that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. We'll get you a full inspection report. We can help you from that first call all the way till everything is done, cleaned, and we're leaving your home with a beautiful new roof. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Georgia Bulldogs.
Receiver Nitro Tuggle, great name, plans to enter the transfer portal. Hayes Fawcett first. You might remember he was arrested on misdemeanor charges for reckless driving and speeding in mid-March. It was a weekend where they had 3 guys arrested on vehicle-related charges. 6'1", 190-pounder, enrolled at Georgia in the spring, played 7 games for the Bulldogs last year with just 3 catches. Former 4-star product. He's headed elsewhere.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Nebraska transfer receiver Hardly Gilmore, related to Happy Gilmore, is signing with Kentucky. It's actually Hardly Gilmore the 4th. So he is originally signed with Kentucky, actually out of high school. Ended up going to Nebraska. Now he's headed back to Kentucky. Gilmore was dismissed from the Nebraska program recently. 3 years of eligibility remaining.
The Florida Gators.
Safety Devin Jackson is decommitted from Florida. Safety out of Orlando for the 2026 cycle. He'd been committed to the Gators since last July. 6'1" defender. He's a 4-star, the number 28 safety in the country.
The Auburn Tigers.
And all SEC wing Chad Baker-Mazara is entering the transfer portal. The 6-year senior will look to play his final season of eligibility elsewhere. Let's see. He was the second leading scorer on the team. This will be his 5th stop. So he went from Duquesne to San Diego State, then went to Northwest Florida for 1 season, then going to Auburn, and now a 5th program for his final season of eligibility. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Hey, y'all, I know we got a long weekend, a holiday weekend, but if you find yourself in need of nursing care, Decision Critical is there for you. DecisionCriticalBR.com. You can call and schedule that discovery call. You know, maybe you're feeling under the weather. There's a lot of junk going around right now. You're feeling down and out. Something that could bring you back to life is IV therapy. They can come to your house, to your office, hook you up with the IV like we did in studio a few weeks back when Blazier was here. They can come to you to do that, but so many other things. Maybe you're bringing home a new baby and you need nursing care in the home. Maybe it's end-of-life care. Maybe you just had a surgical procedure, and while you go through recovery, you need in-home nursing care. Maybe you're caring for an elderly parent now and you need in-home care. Decision Critical can help. Expertly trained nurses, the best of the best. It's DecisionCriticalBR.com. By the way, they keep expanding. New Orleans, Lafayette, so outside of Baton Rouge as well. Give them a shout. DecisionCriticalBR.com. All right, let me knock out a quick break, y'all. Kendall Rogers in 30 minutes from right now. We'll preview the weekend ahead in the SEC. The Saints have worked out another cornerback in advance of next week's draft. We'll get to that here in 15 minutes from right now. But as we mentioned, the legendary Lee Corso is retiring from College Game Day. A bit of a retrospective. We'll do that when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
Long weekend for a lot of us. Great opportunity to get by Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siga near Airline, LA 16 in Denham. Mid-City on Donmore and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Buy local, shop local over at Clegg's Nursery. Got people coming over for Easter this weekend. You want to beautify your flower beds, your outdoor spaces, your patio pots, the area by the pool. You can do it. Clegg's has a great selection. Get on by and see them. Any of the 4 locations. They've even got drift roses that are in right now. What an amazing selection. God, those are beautiful. Check them out right now at any of the Clegg's Nursery locations. I want to keep reminding you that every time they get a new shipment of flowers or plants or trees or shrubs or anything that they have coming in, they're so good about taking photos and posting them on their Facebook page. So always keep up with whenever they have something new at their Facebook page. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
You probably saw the news by now. Lee Corso is retiring from College Game Day. 38 years with College Game Day. One heck of a run for Coach Corso. And I think I'll certainly be repetitive if I wax poetic about Lee Corso. I know everyone sort of feels the same way. He's an institution. He's probably the only person in the history of ever that people care about who he picked on the game. Every show does picks. He's the only one where people care. The headgear thing is iconic. The number 2 pencil, I was actually listening to OTB this morning. I heard Taylor talking about it, and he didn't know this. So Lee Corso actually, I think a lot of people may not know why Lee Corso holds the pencil on College Game Day. He is the director of business development for Dixon Ticonderoga. That's the company that primarily makes the number 2 pencil. So he's basically got equity in a pencil company, which is why he holds a pencil. I mean, it's hell of a branding opportunity. Good on you, Coach. I mean, get it. I don't know if he's still doing that at 90, but he was amazing, and an institution, a part of our Saturday mornings. And his contributions have clearly waned in recent years since his stroke, and obviously getting to be 90 years old and not traveling as much. But it'll be a very appropriate and fitting send-off for Lee Corso on August the 30th. So that week 1 of the college football season will be his last game. He'll be there for game day. It'll certainly be a very fitting farewell to Coach Corso. He'll, I'm certain, do a headgear pick. You got 3 marquee games. LSU Clemson's one of them. Bama is at Florida State down in Tallahassee. Of course, he played at Florida State. But the one that's most likely going to get it is Ohio State, the defending national champion, hosting Texas, 2 college football playoff teams. Coach Corso, the original headgear pick was Brutus. He's picked Ohio State more than any other team. Of course, Kirk, his ties to Ohio State. It's very natural. That's what it's going to be. I'd be stunned if it was anything other than that game. But we'll find out in time. But congratulations to Lee Corso on a hell of a run, and thank you for giving so much of yourself to all of us for our Saturday mornings for 4 decades. Tim Brando was the original host of College Game Day. I'm not sure if people know that, but Tim was the original host of College Game Day at ESPN back in the late 80s and worked with Lee Corso on the show before Chris Fowler ultimately took that role and then handed it now to Reese Davis. But Tim's going to be with us in hour 3, straight up, 5 o'clock Central Time, talk a little bit about it, so we'll look forward to that. All right, it is after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. One other quick note I wanted to get to. The end. This is official now. And Brian Kelly alluded to this. If you were at the LSU Open scrimmage on Saturday, the spring scrimmage, Trey'Dez Green went down with injury. And I asked Brian Kelly afterwards for an update on Trey'Dez, and he said Trey'Dez was fine, but the other part of the answer was the most interesting part.
Trey'Dez was fine. He wanted to stay in there. But it brings the attention to the new rule that will be coming in, and that is, in those kinds of situations, if you go down after the ball is put in play, you're going to be charged a timeout in those situations. So, we've got to be very careful in those situations. If you're hurt, you better go down before they blow the ball ready for play, or you're going to be charged a timeout. So just the thing that we can educate them on in those situations.
Yeah, I didn't know that was that was a rule that had been implemented. Well, it is now official. The Playing Rules Oversight Panel approved changes there to the timeout rule. So you will be charged a timeout. So again, if you think of the scenario where teams are lined up and then a defender goes down before the ball snapped to try to stop play, well, if that happens once the ball has been readied for play, whistle blown, ready for play, and then one of your players goes down, it costs you a timeout. So if you're injured you better go down before the ball's in play, or you better get off the field, because if the ball's blown ready for play and then you go down, it costs your team a timeout. So that was a good learning lesson this past weekend for the players, for all of us, as well as we saw it, and it is now official. So one new rule that goes into effect, and I like it. I mean, I know there's probably going to be some pushback, because what if there is a legitimate injury? Well, that's where, the bad apples spoil the whole bunch. The people that are trying to manipulate the clock ruin the whole thing. So have some integrity, don't ruin the game, and you don't have to have things like this happen. Okay, y'all, it is after further review. I was talking to Tom Hart earlier. He might go to dinner tomorrow. I was going to recommend, man. You need me to make a call over to Supper Club, might be able to make that happen. SupperClubBTR.com. Get your reservations, y'all. SupperClubBTR.com. Hey, Supper Club is open Tuesday to Saturday. So they're closed Sunday, Monday. But they are opening for Mother's Day from 11 to 3. Do not wait. Everywhere in Baton Rouge, everywhere on Mother's Day, books up. It fills up quickly. Seating is available now. Reservations are available now. If you want to take Mom to Supper Club for Mother's Day on Sunday, they are going to be open from 11 to 3 at Supper Club on Mother's Day. So get your reservations now. I wouldn't be stunned if it's booked after this weekend, but check it out right now. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com for Supper Club. Hour 2 coming up right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, Our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioneer Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Is Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Bucks point guard Damian Lillard is out for Saturday's playoff opener against the Pacers, but Lillard is now cleared from treatment for blood clots and is planning to return to the team. He missed the last 14 regular season games. The NFL draft starts 1 week from tonight. The Saints hold the 9th pick. And ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr. says Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders would be a good fit in the Big Easy.
Shedeur Sanders in a dome. Atlanta's also a dome, and you got Carolina, Tampa Bay. I would say, why not Shedeur? It would be a perfect fit in New Orleans. But I think when you look at where we are right now with Shedeur, he's the 5th best player on my board. Cam Ward is 6. If you had to flip them, Cam would be 5, Shedeur would be 6.
Mel Kiper Jr. on Get Up. Free agent quarterback Aaron Rodgers tells the Pat McAfee Show today he's not ready to make a decision about the 2025 season and says retirement is a possibility. Florida State cancels all home athletic events through Sunday. ABC News reporting a suspect is in custody after today's shooting on campus.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Friday. With the draft less than a week away, I'll tell you what the headlines will be the morning after the first round. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Decision Critical, Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
Chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball in 15 minutes from right now. Tim Brando, next hour, we'll talk a little bit about Lee Corso heading off into retirement after one more game with College Game Day. I guess maybe 2, because they'll normally do College Game Day on week 0 as well. So if they do a week 0 College Game Day, maybe Corso will be there. But after the April 30th, week 1 College Game Day, Corso will be retiring. All right, it is after further review. Glad you're here. We are 1 week away from the NFL draft. I love the draft. Y'all know it. I'm a draft nerd. I'm the guy who watches all 3 days. I sit there with my notebook. I love going through, formerly, the M&D draft report when Mike D was putting out his guide. It was awesome. I love going through where the value picks are in day 3, all that sort of stuff, as much as I do the intrigue of day 1. But the bottom line is you can change your franchise. You can change the organization with a successful draft like that. If you want a relative example, think of the New Orleans Saints. You had back-to-back-to-back 7 and 9 seasons, 2014, 15, 16. 2017, you have the greatest draft in the history of the organization, where you land not only starters, but elite-level starters, Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Alvin Kamara, Trey Hendrickson, Marcus Williams. Up and down that draft, hit, elite-level starters, and just like that, the Saints were back in the playoffs 17, 18, 19, 20, 4 straight years, making a run at it with Drew Brees before Brees retired, and we know what's happened since then. So if you want the reason, the glass half full, the optimistic vantage point for the New Orleans Saints, it's the draft, which it is for every team. Look at Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. You go hit in the draft, you all know it. You can change the fortunes of an organization instantly. Well, one spot where the New Orleans Saints are certainly going to be looking is at cornerback. I don't think this is any great surprise. And there's another player that the New Orleans Saints have worked out. A report from, it was Schultz, excuse me. I want to make sure, I just want to give attribution to make sure that I have it right. It was Jordan Schultz who had the report that the New Orleans Saints went and worked out Corey Black, a cornerback out of Oklahoma State. He notes that Corey Black visited the Ravens and Giants. He'll finish with the Dolphins today on Thursday. But he has also had private workouts with the Saints and met via Zoom with 10 other teams. He had a blazing 4.35 40 and a 39-inch vertical. So you want to talk about relative athletic score, that's a big ding right there with the relative athletic score with Corey Black. 6 foot tall, a Oklahoma State prospect, and you can look at the stats. The thing, though, that's so interesting about him, you go look at Pro Football Focus, for example. This is a guy that this past year, in his weekly grades, graded out very high at Oklahoma State. His overall defensive grade was a 73.9. His coverage grade was a 74.5. His tackling grade was a 70.8. The lowest was run defense, but that don't even matter because he spent the majority of his snaps out on the boundary. As a matter of fact, he spent, of his snaps, 600 of his defensive snaps were at boundary corner. Next closest for context was 44 in the slot. So this is not a slot. This is not a nickelback. It's not a dime. He's not a hybrid safety. He is a boundary cornerback. And the Saints went and worked out Corey Black. So this will be fast. He was in man coverage. Not only did he play boundary, but he was in man coverage on 48% of his defensive snaps this year. So you have a boundary corner with great speed who is used to playing on an island, and also, as Ross Jackson noted in his piece over at LouisianaSports.net, was a shadow for the other team's best receiver the majority of the time, which is why he played 48% in man coverage. So you got a guy that's used to living on an island. And when you look at the draft, we often talk about wants, needs, and musts, right? The Saints kind of need everything. Cornerback is, if you're ranking them, I would argue probably at the top of your needs defensively. Because the two guys that were your starting cornerbacks a year ago in week 1 are both gone. Paulson Adebo now plays for the New York Giants. You traded Marshawn Lattimore to the Washington Commanders. So that meant last year, Kool-Aid McKinstry and Alontae Taylor played largely on the boundary for you. And that's a mixed bag. Kool-Aid was a second-round pick. I believe he is a boundary corner and will play well. Alontae Taylor is not. I like his physicality. I think Alontae Taylor is a safety, and this actually bears it out. Again, to go back to Pro Football Focus, and I don't mean to throw a bunch of numbers at you, but remember, we were just talking about Corey Black, and all of his numbers were in the 70s, 73, 75 is grades. Alontae Taylor's overall defensive grade a year ago was a 45. His coverage grade was a 35. His tackling grade was a 36. Like, his run defense grade was an 82. Very good. Very good in run defense, because that's what Alontae Taylor is. He's a box safety. He's a physical player at the line of scrimmage. He could probably play safety for you. He is not a boundary corner. But when you traded Lattimore and Adebo got hurt, you had to have someone go play boundary corner, and he did. Ended up playing 605 snaps at corner, 358 snaps in the slot. All that to say, you don't have to remember any of those numbers. Just understand that was context to say Alontae Taylor's not a cornerback in the NFL. When you ask him to play corner, he's very bad. But you want him to provide run support, playing the slot, he can do that pretty well. You want him on the boundary? No go. So you've got to go address that. You didn't do it in free agency. You're going to do it in the draft here. And maybe add someone else after you start to see cuts and things like that after the draft as well. But if you're looking for a starter, you're probably looking in this draft class for someone to complement Kool-Aid McKinstry. and Corey Black's another one that they worked out. Now, you look at the number of workouts, the cornerback workouts that the Saints have done, there's a good number of them. Will Johnson is from Michigan, is going to be the first cornerback taken in this draft. And he may very well be there at 9 when the Saints pick. And I understand all this Shedeur conversation, and y'all know where I stand on it. If they take Shedeur at 9, I'm going to be good with it. But if you take your quarterback at 9, then you are going to have to be looking at a position like cornerback or receiver at 40, provided you stay there. So, if you want to look at, I just pulled up, like, for example, Field Yates, right? Field Yates has his final big board. These are his top prospects in the draft. He's got Will Johnson as the 10th overall prospect in the draft. So, like, that's a prospect that if he's there at 9, you take him, I'm pumped because you have a starting cornerback. And I say it all the time, quarterbacks, those who protect quarterbacks and those who affect quarterbacks are the most premium positions in the NFL. So quarterback, left tackle, defensive end, and then to a lesser degree, receiver, cornerback. So you can get an elite level boundary coverage cornerback. You love it if that's there. I'm just kind of scrolling this Field Yates piece, and you look at the best corners available in the draft after Will Johnson at 9. He's got Jahdae Barron from Texas as the 18th best prospect in the draft. So that's someone who probably isn't going to be on the board when you pick at 40. Maxwell Hairston, the cornerback out of Kentucky at 22. You start to look and go, all right, well, who's going to be hanging around at that position when you get to 40? That's the more interesting conversation. Another guy that the Saints have worked out is Siobhan Revell out of East Carolina. He's gotten a lot of play in pub here leading up to this draft. So that's another guy to keep an eye on in round 2 potentially. For what it's worth, Field Yates has Revell number 51 overall as a round 2 grade. Benjamin Morrison, the cornerback out of Notre Dame, could be in that mix at 40 or as you move into round 3. Jacob Parrish out of Kansas State. Just some of the names worth mentioning as you get there. Trey Amos from Ole Miss is another guy that the Saints worked out. So when you're just looking, if you're compiling the list of players that the Saints either brought in for a top 30 visit, went to their pro day, had a private workout with that player, Will Johnson, Trey Amos, Siobhan Revell, Corey Black, like these are the names you have to be considering when you're watching the draft and you see best available, right? And you're thinking, could the Saints be thinking corner here? These are the names you got to be thinking about who might be on the board at the time they're picking. Because if you're going through the trouble of the financial commitment of flying someone into your facility to work them out privately, flying your staff to their pro day to go do a private workout on their campus, whatever it may be, there's a very clear interest. And cornerback is a spot where New Orleans has got to address. The latest there, again, is Corey Black out of Oklahoma State. Saints held a private workout, according to Jordan Schultz, another name to file away, as we are 1 week away from the start of the NFL Draft. All right, y'all, we're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone over at Relief Windows. Give them a shout. A lot of you probably getting your tax refund check by now. I would always encourage you, man, invest that tax refund into your home. Reinvest that into your home. It'll increase your home's resale value. It'll lower your energy bills. As a matter of fact, they were just awarded the best warranty in the South. Tell you all the time about their lifetime transferable warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage over at Relief Windows. A lot of companies can say they offer you a warranty. Have they been around for 20 years living up to that warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage? Relief Windows has. That's why they've been awarded the best warranty in the Gulf South. Like, not just in Baton Rouge or in Louisiana, in the entire region. So I say it all the time. If you're just shopping price, don't call Relief Windows. They're never going to be the cheapest. If you want the best, you have only one call to make. 288-8138 or reliefwindows.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here on this Thursday. Last day of the work week for us. We'll take off for Good Friday. A great Easter weekend to all of you, and then we'll be back on Monday. So a lot to do still in the meantime. Kendall Rogers next. We'll preview the weekend ahead in college baseball around the SEC. And Tim Brando next hour will be here with us, talk a little bit about his friend Lee Corso. Stay with us here on AFR.
AFR.
So about 3 years ago, we went to my family's crawfish boil on Easter. That's our family tradition. We got home. It was about 5 o'clock in the evening on Easter Sunday. I called River City's 1 Hour Air thinking, all right, I'm going to get an answering service. We got home, and our air was out. The home was hot. It was like 90 degrees in our house. We get home. I call thinking I'm going to get the answering service, and I'll get front-of-the-line service for the next day because I'm a part of their maintenance club. I'm thinking, all right, I'll just have the first appointment on Monday. Someone answers the phone, a human being, and I had a technician at my house on Easter Sunday evening. And you may say, well, Matt, that's just because it's you. No. The person answering the phone had no idea that I do radio endorsements for River City's 1 Hour Air. That's just what they do. Nights, holidays, and weekends, they'll come out. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, Ice Cubes.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
He's really athletic. I see an improved player from a year ago. You could see the physical talent and skills, but he plays with a lot of confidence. Seems like the guy they look to offensively and defensively. Good presence in the field at shortstop, hitting with power. I believe he has 15 home runs. Really good player.
Yeah, Justin LeBron. Jay Johnson, by the way, talking about Justin LeBron, the Alabama shortstop. I was kind of going over some notes with a scout buddy of mine who said LeBron as a sophomore is the best prospect in the SEC. Is the odds-on favorite to be the first pick in 2026, and probably, his words, would probably be the first pick in this draft. So that's the level of talent you're dealing with that's coming to the box this weekend there in Justin LeBron. A guy who's seen him plenty is Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes. How are you, dude?
I'm doing awesome. How about yourself?
Doing really well, man. We appreciate you for being flexible with us today. Hey, you got a comp on LeBron, like at this point in his career, how he plays, just what you think, where he fits, all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, this is a very lofty comp on him, but I mean, some people have kind of compared him, like some scouts I've talked to compared him to Jeter a little bit. I mean, that's a pretty sure. I even hate like mentioning somebody with Jeter, but I mean, that's kind of the skill set, kind of the athleticism he has. I'll tell you what, I've watched him several times this year, and like, I agree with you. I think to me, when he is clicking, he's the best player in college baseball. He's got just an absolute cannon at shortstop. He's a premier defender up the middle. He's got range. He's like an 80 grade makeup guy, and I love everything about him. So yeah, that's obviously going to be a big key this weekend to keep Justin from getting a groove against the Tigers at the box.
Kendall, I want to kind of dive into this series in a bit, but let me go back for a second if I could. Watching LSU get swept at Auburn, what was your takeaway from that?
My takeaway from that was I was really surprised that LSU's offense didn't do more. I think we talked about this last week a little bit, but I really thought that LSU's offense matched up very well with Auburn. So, one thing might be true here, that LSU's offense just had a down weekend, or maybe Auburn's pitching's a little better than we thought. Kate Fisher threw really well. That was probably his best start of the year. Great timing for LSU fans. But, I mean, that was his best start of the year. Sam Dutton, obviously he's going to be amped up playing the Tigers, and he pitched really well. But, Andres Alvarez threw pretty well for Auburn as well. So, I mean, they pitched a pretty high level. But, for LSU's offense to be as quiet overall as it was throughout the weekend was definitely a little disappointing. I was expecting more production over the weekend.
We'll come to this weekend here in just a quick second. But actually, I guess we can just start there then. So how do you see LSU matching up with Alabama?
Well, I mean, Alabama and Auburn are very similar to me. Like, I kind of felt like LSU had the massive advantage, with the offense going against the pitching staff. But, I mean, after last weekend, we'll kind of see. I do think being back at the box will help LSU, obviously having the home crowd and things like that. But I think the big key against Bama is they really, really like to have a position to where they can go to Carson Osmer out of the bullpen. The Ivy League transfer has been really good for them out of the bullpen and the closer role. It's fastball with glove side life. That the fastball is always moving somewhere. It's never in the same spot. It's just a really weird look late in the game. So, if you're LSU, you definitely want to have a lead late, because if not, going against him, it's a challenge. So I think, again, I think if you're Jay Johnson, you're wanting the offense to get right. And by the way, you're wanting Bear Jones to kind of go off power-wise this weekend. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you look back at his stats in conference, and he's only got one home run. There's no way that is going to stay the case.
Especially as the weather gets a little warmer. It's 82 degrees right now in Baton Rouge. I think the ball might fly a little bit this weekend. Hey, one more.
I think this weekend might be a different story.
Yeah. Hey, one more. I wanted to ask about Zane Adams. It's been rough the past two Fridays. They're going to pitch backwards. Just a thought on him, and then what Coach Vaughn is doing at Bama this weekend. You're just sort of reversing his order.
Yeah, it's interesting. I kind of wonder if they're wanting to take some pressure off Adams. I mean, the thing about Adams is, I really like his arm. I mean, it's up to 93, 94. It's a really good breaking ball when he's on. I actually saw him really well at A&M several weeks ago. But clearly he's just been a little off at times. And, the problem with him is his stuff is good. It's not excellent. And in major college baseball, it's a really good lineup. If you're not excellent and you're just average, you're going to get hit, especially in that conference. That's going to be the big key for him, is can he – even as they're pitching backwards, can he be more consistent with the breaking ball? If he can be a problem. I mean, it's good stuff. It's just not great stuff.
Yeah. LSU's done well against lefties this year. We'll see. I'm glad you brought up A&M because another very impressive weekend for the Aggies. And now they've won 5 league games in a row since being no-hit by Tennessee. And now their reward is, okay, go to Fayetteville and try your hand at Arkansas. Kendall, a few weeks ago when I was asking you if A&M had it in them to have a heartbeat and get back, your response, and paraphrasing, was effectively, I don't think so, because look at the schedule. Well, here you go again.
Yeah.
Are we any closer to believing A&M's got a heartbeat, or is this one where maybe Arkansas kind of puts their foot on the throat?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting closer to thinking they've got a heartbeat. I think any of us, when I said that, I think any of us would have been slightly surprised if A&M would have run-ruled Tennessee to win that series in Knoxville.
Yes! Oh, my God!
Yeah,
oh, my God!
I mean,
You want to talk about
dude.
the chart
Like
of improbability. Oh, my God!
Yeah, I mean, if you were going to put a win probability on that, if you gave me a percentage, I would have said probably about 1.5%. But, the thing about A&M's been really interesting, and this is why I'm a little closer to believing. I'm not quite there because I do think they struggled out of the bullpen. But what's really scary about them right now is, they got Caden Sorrell back. I mean, there's a lot of scouts. Speaking of scouts you talk to, I mean, there are a lot of scouts out there who would prefer Sorrell over Lavalette if the two guys are both draft eligible this year.
Okay.
So they get him back. And then Bear Harrison, the St. Mary's transfer, he was awful offensively earlier this year. And you don't want to say he's hitting like 412 in conference. And, I mean, he's been almost impossible to get out at times. So, what that's done is that it's essentially has allowed them to use Harrison as kind of their replacement for Grahovic, who obviously is out for the year. So now their lineup is kind of back to where we thought it would be coming into the season. With that said, I have a lot of question marks with their pitching still, and we'll see if they get a little bit of a rude awakening in Fayetteville this weekend.
Harrison was a guy LSU wanted in the portal this year. But
Absolutely.
LSU's going to see them in a week or I guess, next week will be Tennessee. Then they're at Tennessee or at College Station. Yes, so 2 weeks. Let me get to Texas because, Kendall, I keep looking at them going, man, I saw that team, and they weren't great, but how do you argue against 13-2 at the halfway point of league play? They're at home against Auburn. I mean, how real is what we're seeing with Texas?
Yeah, I do think the Horns are playing over their skis just a hair. But I'll tell you what, I really like the vibe of their team. And they're one of those clubs that when you watch them, whether they're on the road or at home, there's never any panic. And when you have a team like that in college baseball, that's a luxury because, it's one thing to have 4 or 5 guys who are just like even keeled, but to have an entire team like that is really impressive. I mean, obviously the keys for them, Rylan Galvan behind the plate, a leader, has kind of formed into a premier catcher, a premier offensive guy. Dylan Volantis at the back end. I mean, he was a late pickup. He was a guy that decommitted from USC. Texas is like, hey, we need arms, so let's take him. And now he might be one of the top 3 or 4 relievers in college baseball. So they've had a lot of things go their way, but, give Schloss a lot of credit. I mean, they have played very consistent. They play very clean baseball, and they are going to make you beat them. And there just aren't very many teams so far this year that have gone out there and taken it to them. I mean, the LSU weekend, I didn't think Texas played amazing, but I also didn't think LSU played very well. So what happened? Texas won 2 out of 3 in that series. So they're going to make you beat them.
Kendall, anything else? I mean, I can look at Georgia Vanderbilt as a ranked matchup this weekend, but anything else like really jump off the page? You go, man, watch for that this weekend in the conference.
Absolutely. I mean, Florida and Mississippi State. I mean, we talk so much about A&M making a move, but I mean, for Florida to make the NCAA tournament, this is crunch time. This is a series they've got to have. They still have some tough series ahead, for the Gators. So sitting there at 4-11, they need to win that series at Mississippi State. And I tell you what, I think you guys would agree after seeing them in Baton Rouge. Like Mississippi State, especially offensively, is not bad. Like they're not a team you watch and go, man, they're awful.
Right.
Like they've been very close to winning a lot of games. I think Mississippi State wins that series, and I think A&M and Mississippi State are probably getting in as of today. And that would be 13 teams making the NCAA tournament out of the SEC if that is the case.
I was having this conversation earlier in the show with Tom Hart, and we were having that. I'm glad you brought that up. I love your thought on how the committee might look at an expanded SEC, right? A 16-team league, and how we have these sort of, Ken, like we have these things programmed in our brain. Like if you get to 13 league wins, usually that's good enough to get you into regional play. You might have to look at the RFA, but like, do you think that changes at all this year with a 16-team league, like it did for basketball, where Texas with 6 wins got in?
Yeah, I think it has to change, and I think what's going to really matter is kind of the, who you played in the SEC. How does the committee value teams that play Missouri? I mean, Missouri probably one of the worst Power 4 teams in college baseball. If you look at the contenders right now in the bubble, Florida has a little bit easier slate, Mississippi State a little bit easier slate, but then you look at A&M, who literally would play every good team in the SEC. that stuff's going to matter when it comes to Selection Monday. But I think when you compare it to the other conferences, there's no doubt there's a little bit more leeway with the SEC, especially with Oklahoma and Texas kind of doing what they're doing.
You mean a thought on something outside of the league, man? What's going on nationally that's worth keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I just think the Big 12 race is really interesting. I mean, Oklahoma State continues to scuff a little bit. Texas Tech, certainly perennial power, is kind of lost in the mix a little bit. And you got like Kansas and Kansas State that have both continued to really impress out of that conference. That's a big series coming up. And, I guess, out west, Oregon State, everybody kind of wondered coming into the season, from a scheduling standpoint, how's that going to work, not being in a conference? It's worked out beautifully for them. They've also gotten lucky that a lot of these mid-level teams that they've played are having really good years. Cal Poly kind of being one of them. So Oregon State's a really interesting storyline for me. And then, of course, UCLA out of the Big Ten looks like a national host type of team right now, too. And it's good to see the Bruins back. I mean, that's a neat brand to see an NCAA tournament year in and year out.
He's Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. I saw yesterday you had a code up for it's like 10% off or something, or maybe 40% off. Is that still good? What you got?
Yeah, Omaha 30 will get you 30% off, and I'll be in Baton Rouge next weekend for LSU Tennessee, so looking forward to that.
Oh, Omaha 30 for 30% off at d1baseball.com. What a great time right now at the halfway point of league play. Omaha 30 for 30% off at d1baseball.com right now. Hey, we'll look forward to having you in town, man. We'll see if we can catch up next week when you're at the box.
We'll see you soon.
All right, be well.
All right, thanks, Matt.
You got it, man. That is Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Tonight, LSU and Alabama. Ben McDonald will be on the call. It'll actually be Dom Hart and Ben McDonald all three nights. Well, Ben McDonald was the first pick of the draft, and his first call when he bought his hunting property in Mississippi was First South Farm Credit. So you've heard Ben on a lot of the First South Farm Credit commercials over the years telling his story. Remember, they can help you buy land in any of the lower 48. So if you want to buy hunting property in Mississippi or 50 acres in St. Francisville or 1,000 acres in Montana, they can help you do that at First South Farm Credit. Terrio's fond of saying, they ain't making more dirt, y'all. This land's a finite resource. You want it as an investment property or a place maybe to go build your family's dream home. You want that recreational property. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit because they've done one thing since 1916. Help Louisianians buy land. FirstSouthland.com. FirstSouthland.com. All right, we are halfway home on this Thursday, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Tim Brando in 30 minutes. Looking forward to having Timmy B join us to talk a little bit about Lee Corso. It was announced earlier that he's retiring from College Game Day. He'll do week one, and then he'll retire after that, so he'll have his on-air swan song, which he certainly deserves. Corso's got the right to go out however he wants. So, but it'll be after one more episode of College Game Day on August the 30th. So Timmy B will be here in 30 minutes from right now. Let me knock out a quick break, y'all. The funeral arrangements have been announced for Kyron Lacey. And with the Louisiana legislature in session, one lawmaker is trying to put a legal end to day games in Tiger Stadium. I'll explain next on AFR.
AFR.
Man, you're getting jealous, aren't you? Yeah, it's all right. You can acknowledge it. You're getting jealous. It's 83 degrees, and you're thinking about all the people who pretty soon will be heading home after work, jumping in the pool in their backyard, spending those spring and summer Saturdays on the raft, sipping a Mai Tai, margarita, or whatever your pleasure may be, grilling in their outdoor kitchen, just enjoying their outdoor space, their own backyard paradise. Oh, yeah? But you don't have to be envious. I got a secret. You can have that as well. Our friends over at Duplessis Builders can make it happen. Maybe you have a pool that just needs to be remodeled. They can do that. It's Duplessis Builders. One of the great testimonials I ever heard about Duplessis is a gentleman who was going to build a pool, he and his wife. They interviewed 5-6 different pool companies. He said the base model for Duplessis was everyone else's premium product. They're the best. It's DuplessisBuilders.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Hey, I never met John the third G. Like, you know how to do a Roman numeral? It's like three lines.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
What
I got
it says,
you.
John, 3 lines G.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Now, it's probably an I. I-L-L-G.
Oh, okay.
Being a little vacation.
Got you there.
So it's probably Ilg.
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 Ilg. I like Ilg.
Maybe it's a
Well,
silent
there's no
I.
A,
Maybe
yeah.
it's a silent I. It's John Ulg.
Ulg.
Maybe it's 2 L's and a G, so it's like extra large.
Extra large. I like that.
XL.
John,
LLG.
John XL.
John Orlge. I don't know his name. But people in Harahan like him. They elected him to the state to the House of Representatives.
Hey, attaboy, John.
Boy. So he's state rep from Harahan. Shout out. And John, what are we going with here?
I like Ilg.
Ilg?
Ilg, or what was it?
It's probably Ilg.
Ilg. But there's no A after the G.
I-L-L-G. Ilg.
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 Paulie, you want to be the deciding vote?
I'm going Ilg.
Ilg. Yeah. G. Yeah. After a consonant. Like in an adverb. No, that's not right. That would be L-Y.
Grammar lessons with Scone.
Yeah, I'm going through my braille. I'm Country of origin, please. Anyway, let's go with John Ilg, just so we keep it moving.
Yeah, there we
John
go.
Ilg, let's go. We'll keep it moving. So, Harahan House of Republican Representative John Ilg has introduced a resolution that would request all LSU home games in September start no earlier than 6 p.m. Can we give it up for John Ilg? Let's go. Thank you, John. There you go, babe. That'd be it. Muse, do me a favor. Look up, Google this right now, please. Okay. John Ilg office address. Every state representative, they have an office. So I want to know his office, where his office is. I don't think that's just for like U.S. senators and representatives. I think for state representatives, they would have an office as well. But I would like to know his office address. If you get it, let me know.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, you got it?
We got it.
Okay, wait, hang on. Let me get my pen. Because I want to send him a fruit basket.
Okay.
As a thank you. All right, go ahead. What is it now?
6387.
6387.
Jefferson Highway. Harahan, Louisiana.
Shout out.
70123.
70123. Okay, 6387 Jefferson Highway, Harahan, 70123. Or as we learned before, all you need is the zip code. So you don't even need to put Harahan. Like you could put Moscona, Louisiana. Were you not here that day?
No, I don't think I was here that day.
We had this whole conversation. Yeah, you could put whatever you want. Because we were talking about it with Luch about St. George. Like, is it Baton Rouge or St. George? Because technically, when they have the city, like I live now in the city of St. George, but I still put Baton Rouge on all my mail. I don't really care. Baton Rouge, whatever. Y'all do you. Just make sure I have nice roads and good schools and all that stuff. The police come when I call them. I'm a taxpayer. That's all I want. But yeah, all you got to do is just put as long as you're like 70123. So I said I'm going to mail something. I want Luch to mail me something to Moscona, Louisiana.
To Moscona, Louisiana. That's it? Just Moscona, Louisiana?
Well, you got to put the zip in there.
And then 708, whatever.
We're 70809.
09, yes.
Yeah.
09.
I want to see if it gets to me.
All right.
Anyway.
Did Luch do it? Wait, have you received anything?
He hadn't done it. And so when he's with us on Monday,
we're going to have to ask him
We have to have a conversation about this. Yes.
I was out. That was the Monday I was out, probably.
Probably so. That's okay, Muse. You were busy sleeping till 11 because that's what adult people do, right?
So good.
Sleeping till 11. I haven't slept till 11 since I was probably 4 years old. What are you doing? Anyway, so John Ilg because of what happened last year against UC, what?
We've just gotten so sidetracked through all of this. But yes, John Ilg.
So the UCLA game last September is sort of what created this whole conversation. You had people falling out. It was devastating. Half the stadium emptied at halftime. I mean, it was kind of like, those rivalry games, like when Texas plays OU at the Cotton Bowl, it's split right down the middle. Half is burnt orange, half is crimson. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Tiger Stadium was like, except it was half was in the sun, half was not. The shaded side was full. The unshaded side was completely empty. It was startling to see. And I remember even tweeting, this is why you don't have day games in September. I said, this is what you get when you have a day game in September. That tweet kind of went viral. And there were some people who pushed back, like, oh, you won't go to a day game? I'm like, no, it's not only a day game. It's because the heat index is like 110. And people, it's dangerous, actually. Acadian Ambulance said there were 70 people that got medical attention due to heat related. That's a massive stressor on the entire event. And then you have people drinking and all. I mean, you know what it is on a game day. So anyway, I love this idea. By the way, it's not like this is altogether unprecedented. The state of Arizona has a law in place that is similar for Arizona and Arizona State, that they cannot play day games in the early months of the season. That's why you never see a day game at Arizona State in September, because it's in the friggin' desert. It's 120 degrees. Oh, but it's a dry heat. Shut up. Anybody that says it's a dry heat, you ain't never been in the desert, you dope. 120 degrees, you will bake your face. Walk out, go to Las Vegas in July. Walk outside of your hotel and just stand there for 10 minutes. Tell me how you feel. It's a dry heat. Kick rocks, dork. Anyway, I love this. And I'm calling on all members of the House of Representatives, subsequently the Senate, and then the governor to sign this bill into law so you can go strong-arm ESPN and never put a game in September at 11 a.m. ever again, or 2:30. You just can't do it. Like, you got it. the sun's got to go down. It's going to be better for the fans. ESPN has the entire television contract now, so it's not like CBS has the first choice or you're beholden. You got to play at 2:30 CBS. Like, I remember back the LSU Georgia game in 2003. That wasn't just the greatest day game in Tiger Stadium history. That's one of the greatest games in Tiger Stadium history, period. So it's not to say that there haven't been great day games in Tiger Stadium. There have been. And that was, by the way, I'm almost positive that was in September. That was the end, either the end of September of 03 or the first week of October. But I think it was the end of September of 03 because I think the first Saturday in October in 03 was when they lost to Florida. But I could be wrong. You have it?
September 20th.
So it was at the end of September. So you've had great games, but you also have the risk of what happened this year against UCLA, and you got to avoid that. So I love this. And it's, again, not unprecedented. So Muse, please send the fruit basket to Mr. Ilg.
To Mr. Ilg.
Yeah. You think we should go fruit basket?
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
Because we're talking about health and hydration. Put some Evermore in there as well.
Let's just send him a bunch of Evermore. Nobody wants a fruit basket.
I would love a fruit basket. Paulie, would you love a fruit basket?
Absolutely.
Who wouldn't want a fruit basket?
I mean, fruit baskets are fine.
I'm sorry. The 30-year-old man who
31.
sleeps till 11 o'clock in the afternoon, or I guess 11 o'clock in the morning. It's not afternoon, it's 11 in the morning.
Stay out.
That's the guy who wouldn't want a fruit basket. I'm stunned by this development.
You didn't let me explain.
That Muse wouldn't want a fruit basket.
Let me explain.
I can't wait to hear the explanation.
I love fruit. Fruit's fantastic. I eat plenty of it, as a matter of fact. But fruit baskets can be rather large, and it's wasteful, just to be honest. Like, you're not going to be able to eat all of that fruit. Let's send something else. I mean, a bunch of Evermore is fantastic. That would be great to send.
A fruit basket, number one, doesn't have to be enormous. They come in multiple sizes. And number two, it's something that you could certainly share. You could keep some at your home and bring some to work and share with other people. There's many different ways to do it. You're sending a fruit basket to the man's office, Muse. It would be anticipated that he would share with his office staff as well. So let's wrap your head around reality here.
I'm sending it to him.
Get out of your little I sleep till 11 a.m. feelings over here.
Rarely.
Because, well, you did it. And I don't know that I physically could.
And it was awesome.
I don't know that I physically could. I don't think I've slept till 11 a.m. since I was wearing PJs.
Brother, it was needed.
No. All right. 6387 Jefferson Highway, Moscona, Louisiana, 70123.
We want to do that. Let's send it to Moscona, Louisiana.
We're sending John Hill. You know what I want?
What?
Let's do this.
What do you want?
I want to put a call out there for our audience to do this. All right, I'm not giving you my home address, but send me mail to Guarantee and so Guarantee's address is 929 Government Street.
Yes.
And it's Baton Rouge 70802. But send it to Matt Moscona, care of Guarantee Media, 929 Government Street, Moscona, Louisiana, 70802. And just see if it shows up.
I actually want this to happen.
I'll open every piece of mail and I'll read them on air.
On air? Yeah.
How about that? That's if you actually do this, you write a letter, you put a stamp on it, you mail it to Moscona, Louisiana, 929 Government Street, Matt Moscona, care of Guarantee Media, 929 Government Street, Moscona, Louisiana, 70802. How about that?
I hope we get flooded with things.
So good.
That would be awesome.
This would be so good. I hope it happens. But if you send me something as vulgar, then I can't read that. I'll at least have to bleep it.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll just edit it.
Yeah.
Censor yourself.
Yeah. It's AFR.
After further review.
GLO. GlowResources.com. GlowResources.com. Glow Resources, they are complete employer solutions. Get them by Glow Resources or go to GlowResources.com. If you're a business owner and you want to be more efficient, maybe you're really struggling to find the right person in your job at your place to make your business more efficient. Maybe you're struggling to find people who are responsible, people that show up on time, people that are efficient when they work. You ever had a job where you think, man, that should have been done in 2 hours and it takes 8 hours? Well, what if you had the right people to get that done? I'm telling you, Glow Resources can find them. And while their corporate headquarters are here in Baton Rouge, which I love about them, by the way, They've got offices in Miami, in Orlando, in Houston, in New Orleans, in the Golden Triangle, and they service businesses all over the world. So no matter where your business does business, if you need the right people, you need Glow Resources.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
As always, a huge thanks to Blazia and the great team over at Decision Critical. Not just healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Set up that discovery phone call at decisioncriticalbr.com. Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Big congratulations to the Bregmans, Alex and his wife Reagan. They did, in fact, welcome their second son on Wednesday. Bennett Matthew Bregman. Strong middle name there. You can see pictures on Instagram. Reagan and Alex both collabed on the post, so if you follow one or both, the pictures are right there.
We're such good friends that they named their second child and middle name after me.
I don't think that's why they did that, but I mean,
why else would they have done it?
I mean, there's plenty of reasons why someone would name their kid Matthew.
Like what?
There's religious reasons. There's plenty.
Or because, you know, you got a great friend and they're like, that's an awesome name from our great friend and we like it a lot. So, which is actually very common. Tell me how many times you've named a child.
I don't have any kids.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, stay out of business you don't know nothing about. I know all about naming kids. Know all about it.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, bingo. Paulie, you know stuff about naming kids?
I do.
You ever named a kid?
I have.
Yeah, you have? Has Muse named a kid?
I do not believe
Yeah,
so.
I don't think so. Maybe you should stay out of it, yeah? You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, stay out of this,
Stay out of
Muse.
Just saying.
You don't know nothing about naming a kid.
It's a strong name. I love the name.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah.
Yeah, you don't know
There's just
nothing
a lot of
about naming a kid.
Jake Fraley.
Congratulations to the Bregmans.
Yeah.
That's all. I texted Alex earlier today. It's awesome, man. Fired up for him. Our little boy's growing up. Our little boy.
I think he's already grown up, man.
I know. It's crazy.
All right, Jake Fraley went 3 for 5. He was a triple short of the cycle today. Single, double, how about grand slam
How
for
you
the
doing?
home run
How you
for
doing?
Jake Fraley. Huge day, up to 234. You love to see it. Tommy White.
Hey!
3 for 4 day for Tommy White.
Is he playing in a minor league park too?
He is.
Yeah.
He is. With the Lansing
that's great.
Lugnuts.
It'll be no real transition when he gets to the big club.
There you go.
Just keep playing in a minor league park.
That's true. He had a double as one of the 3 hits. That was his third of the season, so that's awesome for Tommy White. There was one more that I really, really wanted to get to. Oh, Cole Henry. Another appearance for Cole Henry.
His name is Henry.
Another shutout inning as well. Pitched the 8th for the Nationals. They lost to the Pirates. Cruz had another hit in that game as well. That's Tigers and the Pros.
We're presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Mother's Day, round the bend. Hey, Muse, you got anything from Marilyn Monroe Musso yet?
I have not, but we have time.
Huh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, you're running out of time.
I got a month.
No.
Yeah.
It's less than a month, friend. You got just over 3 weeks.
That's almost a month.
That is not almost a month.
Just over 3 weeks is almost a month.
No.
A month is 4 weeks.
Sometimes. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her with a gift in the red box. For Marilyn Monroe Musso. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
After further review.
What did I miss? Oh, my God. I screwed up.
Parish Restoration.
I totally just took off my headphones.
You're lounging in the chair, bro.
I was going into break. I was getting ready for what was next. Paris Restoration. Kill mold, remove odor, and all that stuff. Come spray your patented non-toxic dry fog at Paris Restoration. They do that stuff over at Paris Restoration. I know. We kind of share an office. Now, they're in the back of the restoration, in the back of the office. Not that it's like bad thing. There's just like a whole separate building on the back. But we're all in the same location there on Lavo Lane. So when I pull in, I see their Sprinter vans all the time, man. Going out, doing jobs, commercial or residential. I got people just lounging in chairs at their job. No worries. You come in, just step out, spray it. As soon as it dissipates, you're back in. ParishRestoration.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Bucks guard Damian Lillard is now cleared from treatment for blood clots. He'll start ramping up for a return to the court. He will not play Saturday in the Bucks playoff opener against the Pacers. ESPN's Shams Charania reports the Kings are finalizing a deal to hire Scott Perry as the team's new GM. He was most recently the GM of the Knicks. The reigning champion Dodgers started the new season 8-0, but now they're a game and a half behind the division-leading Padres. ESPN's Buster Olney.
This team is building on what happened at the end of last year, where they went into the winter believing that they were just one game short of beating the Dodgers in the playoffs. In fact, Dodger players said after the World Series is over that the toughest team that they faced along the way was San Diego.
Buster Olney on Clinton and Friends. The Padres have the best record in baseball right now at 15-4. Memphis Tigers guard P.J. Haggerty enters the transfer portal. He was the American Conference Player of the Year and might now be the best player in the portal.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. And now a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you could save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right. Woo!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And a Mr. Toby Tom play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Get out there and make it a good one, y'all. Last hour of the week for us. We'll be off for Good Friday. Hope you all have a wonderful, safe, happy, joyful Easter celebration this weekend. So we'll do this final hour. We'll be off Friday. We'll see you back here on Monday. LSU and Alabama, 2 hours away from first pitch. Game 1 tonight. If you missed the news earlier, Game 2 on Friday will now be on ESPN 2. So a massive night tonight, this whole weekend. You got 3 LSU baseball games starting tonight, Friday, Saturday, and tonight, of course, the LSU gymnastics team will be competing in one half of the national semifinal with the top two scorers in each of the semifinals advancing to Saturday's national championship, the 4 on the floor. So wishing Jay Clark and the squad very good luck. Big news around college football earlier Thursday is that Ali Corso is going to retire. He'll do week 1, August the 30th. And then after that, he will say farewell to a show that he's been on for nearly 40 years. The man who was the original host of ESPN's College Game Day was our good friend Tim Brando, who's good enough to join us here on a very a transformative day in college football with Lee Corso announcing he's stepping away from College Game Day. Timmy B, how are you, man?
I'm wonderful, Matt. It's great to be with you. And I was on the golf course today making the turn and picked up my phone. I had a Google alert, and there it was. And I had to pause for a minute and tell the guys to go ahead and hit before me. And by the way, I had honors, but I let them hit before me.
No detail is too insignificant, Timmy B. I love it. I love it.
I glow, therefore I am Timmy B. What can I tell you? Anyway.
My guy.
It was like, man, we knew this day was coming at some point, and the fact that it's a retirement and they're doing it this way, and Lee it's so him to be, hey, I'm done, but let's have one party here before I'm really, really done.
Wow.
To me, it says that ESPN, and I've been in the business long enough to know, I just have, that ESPN is letting him go out on his terms the way he wants to go, and God bless him, he deserved that. He absolutely deserved that, and I've been saying for years to those, particularly the young fans that are all over the internet blasting away that Lee should leave, and that happens to all of us, I think, when we get a little bit older. It's easy to pile on. But Lee Corso, I've said, no matter what anybody thinks or says, and of course he alienated himself with fans by making unfiltered comments, spontaneous though they may have been. That's what made game day. It wasn't just the headgear. It wasn't just his being the clown prince of college football Saturdays. It was when he started, he was as X's and O's oriented as any analyst out there. We not only did College Game Day together, but we did the Hurricane Bowl together on a Thursday night at Texas A&M when Alabama and A&M played. That game was moved from a September or early October date, as I recall, because Bill Curry didn't want to take his Alabama team into A&M for fear that Hurricane Gilbert was going to come in and they'd get stuck or that they would not be safe. And Lee was all over that. I'll never forget. We sent him out because the weather, the hurricane moved in a different direction, and it was a sunny day on Saturday. And we had Corso there live on a sunny day filing this report. And of course, yeah, we had him filing this report. And Bino, of course, was in the studio with me going, well, Hurry's never been loved at Alabama. He's more of a Bobby Dodd guy, and Cheryl's a bear guy, and Cheryl's going to say he's chicken. That's what he's going to do. And so, Corso played into that whole thing with Bino, and the two of them going at it. And we could send him anywhere, do anything for College Game Day at that time. And he was also calling games sometimes with me on Thursday nights when I would double up and do a game on Thursday, maybe a 1AA game or something like that. But when they did get rid of that game that particular day between Alabama and Auburn, Alabama and A&M, it came after the Iron Bowl and after the Texas A&M game. So their two rival games were done, and they moved the game to the first week in December. And because the championship games and other things were coming up, ESPN put the game on a Thursday night, and he and I and Chris Fowler, of all people, was our sideline reporter for that game. I'll always remember that. But Lee was so ahead of so ahead of the curve in what sports television entertainment was all about. He was, he knew the substance of the game, but he also knew how to have fun. And in his later years, especially when they started the headgear thing and Herb Street came in, I mean, he just applied so much of what he learned from Bino to have that kind of fun, because Bino didn't mind being the butt of the joke, and Corso didn't mind being the butt of the joke either. He was actually better at it than Bino. Bino would say, I know they're laughing, but are they laughing with us or at me? And Corso was like, I don't care if they laugh at me. And he told me when he auditioned And I did his audition, along with Pepper Rogers, the old UCLA and Georgia Tech coach. You might remember Pepper Rogers, that name. They both auditioned on the same day, and they knew that they were vying for the same job. And Lee had basically talked Pepper out of doing the show. Like, just go ahead and pull yourself out on this, because you're not going to want to come up here every week. He was literally telling him this. Pepper, you're still on the speaking circuit, aren't you? Yeah, he said, yeah, I kind of am. He says, well, these guys are going to want you to come up here to Connecticut every week. You really don't want to do that, do you? I mean, he's telling him this while
so
we're
Corso's trash talking the job to get Pepper to back out.
Yeah, he said,
I love it.
You know, he's like, and he turned to me once. I said, I knew Lee from the USFL. I had done some USFL games in '85, the final year of that league. He was coaching the Orlando Renegades. That was his last coaching job. And I said to him, because I knew him, I said, Coach, Pepper's going after me. He's auditioning for the job too. He says, yeah, Tim, he makes so much money on the speaking tours, the speaking circuit. He'll lose money by doing this. He doesn't need to take this job.
So
He
good.
said, I need this job. This is the job that I need. I want this job. So, and he said to me, college football, and I'll never forget this. He said, college football needs a Dickie V, and I plan on being the Dick Vitale of college football on ESPN. And he was so right. That's exactly what he became. He knew what he wanted, and he had a vision for where game day was going to go. Listen, I never really wanted to host that show. I wanted to be in the booth calling the games. I did. But it turned out to be a great stepping stone and learning experience, and something now when I look back on my years and my resume, it's something I'm very proud of. I treasure the fact that I was the original host of that show, even though, it's nothing like what it is today. And we only had 25 million cable homes back then. Okay. They're hoping to get 25 million people to watch their show. Okay. We only had 25 million homes, in cable television back then. But it was a great experience, and Lee taught me a lot about life, and he's just a superhuman being. And at no point after the show became very popular, and long after I'd gone to CBS, Turner, and then CBS, and even now at Fox, anytime there was an article written about game day and Corso, he never failed to mention, how it started, and give Bino props, give me props. He was always he did everything in his power to make sure that he let people know that there were humble beginnings to that program, that it wasn't all what it is today, and I was very appreciative of that.
Hey, Tim, I got one more question for you, but this is a random one before that. Has anyone ever talked to you about, like, doing some type of documentary or docuseries about college game day? Because a lot of this stuff, I mean, you think Coach Corso's 90, some of this stuff these stories need to be recorded and saved for posterity, right? I mean,
yeah. Here's the issue for that, and I think that, and this is going to sound like maybe I'm being condescending towards ESPN and its public relations people, but I don't mean to. I really don't. One of their PR people today just put out and I tweeted it a moment ago, put out the original press release for College Game Day, which included myself and Bino and Kerry Ross as our reporter and Lee. And I treasure that. I really do. But everything sort of changed in terms of the direction of their corporation when Disney bought it. I mean, when I was working there originally and freelancing and working at Channel 9 in Baton Rouge, it was run and owned by Getty Oil. And then Cap Cities bought it. Cap Cities did have ABC at that time. And when Cap Cities bought it, they had this influx of revenue, and that's how they were able to pay me enough money to leave Baton Rouge and go to Connecticut and start my career there and do Sports Center as well as game day and then games on top of that. But when the show, after I left, Bob Carpenter replaced me, a guy that's now retiring from the Washington Nationals baseball team. Most people don't even remember Bob Carpenter replacing me, but he did the year that I went out to call games with Vince Dooley in the fall of '89. They didn't think Chris Fowler was ready to be the host yet. Chris was only about 24 maybe and was doing Scholastic Sports America, a high school show at that time. And he did some sideline stuff for us.
Sure, Tim. He was the sideline guy for the earthquake game.
Right, he was, and so then you fast forward to 93, all right, 93, 94, in that realm. That's when I had left game day and was on my way to Turner, and Kirk was hired. Craig James had left to go to. Craig was added in like 1989, 90.
Yeah. Okay.
He and I worked together a little bit, and then when he left to go to CBS, that created the opportunity for Kirk to come in and take that position. Bino was out, and that's when Corso shifted over to becoming more like the clown prince and the fun-loving. That's when it's almost like the show itself had a rebirth when they took it on the road every week. It's not like we didn't go on the road. I sometimes scoff when they say first time ESPN went on the road. No. We went on the road for national championships every year in the years that I did College Game Day. We went to Miami one year, went to Fiesta Bowl the next year. It wasn't as if we didn't go on the road. We just didn't have the revenue or the budget to do those shows every week.
Was that Notre Dame Florida State game in '93? Was that the first on campus then? Maybe is that okay?
And that's when, and so I think that there's this feeling. I don't think it's true, but I think there's this feeling among the people there that run the operation that the show really didn't start until then, and that's a crock of blank. That's a crock of blank. It's the show's foundation was, and really what it was all about, was born in 1987 when we began. I don't say that because I was part of it. I say it because we never had a college football pregame show in the history of television.
Yeah.
There was not a college football pregame show. ABC had a halftime show and a postgame show, the Prudential College Scoreboard. They never did a pregame show. The NFL Today was born in 1975 with Brett Musburger. Okay, I never even thought about being a host of a pregame show for college football ever in my life until I got up there, and my boss at the time, Steve Bornstein, said, "Tim, you probably think you're going to be going out and doing games in the fall." And I said, "Yeah, I've got, I'm contracted to do 40 games in addition to my work." He says, "No, we're starting something else that's going to be really special, and it's going to transform all of college football and the way it's seen on television. We're going to do an hour-long pregame show," because networks would never do it. They could never clear their stations. The stations were too busy on Saturdays with cartoons.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only place where you could have an hour-long pregame show would be on cable television. And so, we started that show, and it was only an hour in length beginning in '87. The year that I was in the midst of making my transition was '86, and I was on the road as a sideline guy for Mike Patrick and Pat McAnally, and then I was also doing Thursday games. But I was sort of the on-site reporter, and Bino and an anchor named Larry Burnett did about a 30-minute sort of Sports Center-esque show, but they didn't call it Game Day. It was just a college football pregame show. That's all it was. And I was sort of the on-site host, and I would open the shows and all that. And that's what led to the whole thing happening in '87. But the fact that it was the first ever pregame show for college football is significant, very significant. But so I think in any retrospective or documentary with the 30 for 30 people and all, I think they would omit what we did in '87, '88, '89, because their view of it was we were really young, we were really cable, and it really looked really young and really cable. It wasn't, we weren't big time yet. And the truth is, ESPN was not the 1,200-pound gorilla that it is today then. But if you were coming up in sports television as I was, you certainly wanted to work there more than in local television. And cable was just beginning to proliferate across the country. And it became such a big deal to have cable television. And really the only places that had it back then were rural places and college towns. Major cities were having all kinds of political arguments over which cable company was going to have the rights to cable in those major cities. So places like Prairieville, Louisiana, and Gonzales, and small towns in the South. Name those small towns in Alabama, Georgia. That's why ESPN became so big. Its foothold in the South and in the Rust Belt was much larger. The flyover states had cable long before the major cities did, and that's why it was important to have a show like that. And I, as I said, I treasure it all. But I think that anyone that's in charge there now, if they ever wanted to do a documentary, I think they would. I hate to say it, but I think they would pass over that period between 1987 and 1990, and that's unfortunate because the seeds were sown for Lee to be the iconic person that he's been for the college game during those years. He not only knew the game, could analyze the game, whether it was live or in the studio, but he could also be the comedian. And he got a lot of that from Bino and took it to the next level. He was the guy that made sure that College Game Day was going to last a long time. I don't think even Fowler has said publicly that when he got the assignment after replacing Bob Carpenter in 1990, the fall of '89, it was Carpenter that did it. I hosted the show in '87 and '88, and as you know, I wanted to move home, and I wanted to bring my family home, and I wanted to call games and not be in the studio. And so I got what I wanted, a new 5-year deal, built my dream home, moved to Louisiana, and I started calling games that next year with Vince Dooley. But even Fowler said when he got the job, he wasn't sure that he really wanted the job because it was sort of in the minds of the people that were working there at the time that were in that newsroom, they kind of viewed College Game Day. They weren't college football fans necessarily because they were from Connecticut. And so They kind of viewed it as it was sort of viewed internally as being sort of like a glorified college version of SportsCenter. Okay. Now I didn't view it that way, nor did Bino, and certainly Lee didn't, but that was some kind of the view that people had. And I give Chris all the credit in the world for listening to he gave a heartfelt 2.5-minute tweet today about it. And he finished his the same way I finished mine, saying, "I love you" to Lee, because he took ownership of it and made College Game Day something special. He took it to the next level. I don't know that I ever completely appreciated the opportunity that Game Day had given me until after I had left. And I think it wasn't because they had become so successful. It was because I learned so much about my writing. My writing improved. I was not a great writer when I got there. Most local sportscasters aren't great writers. I became a much better writer. And I finally learned how to edit myself to some extent, which, I was a human run-on sentence for most of my life, and some would say still am, particularly when I'm off the air. But I did learn a lot, and it helped me when dealing with breaking sports news. Things when you have to flip that switch and go from having fun to being serious. When you're hosting a show like that, and there were many examples of it that I could go through with you about it. It's one of the reasons I'm writing this book of mine is because I think I want people to know some of the things that maybe either they forgot, or I want younger people to know that the origin of what we're watching today is still a byproduct of what was out there yesterday. Okay. And Corso's involvement with that show, Matt, and my link to that show through him is something that I really treasure a lot. So I wish him nothing but the best, and I think this is great that he's getting to go out the way he does.
It's a great way to punctuate it. Hey, we're gonna put a day on the calendar in June or July. I'm gonna drive up to the Chateau, and we're gonna I'm gonna record you talking for like 5 hours about all this stuff, and then I'm serious. I'm dead serious. And then I'm gonna take you to dinner, and that's like I'm gonna insist on doing that. Like I'm gonna steal a day from you. And your time is always appreciated, but I think this is something that needs to be done. So I'll be in touch, and we'll do that at some point this summer if you're down for it.
I appreciate that, Matt. Anytime. You know that.
All right, Timmy B. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
You got it, man.
All right, man. Take care. It's after further review.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Remember, clock is ticking. If you have a graduating senior, a graduating high school senior in your family or know someone who is, make sure they know about Gordon's Grads. Go to gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com. You can submit an essay or a video to win a free MacBook from Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. The deadline is next Friday, the 25th at 11:59 p.m. So you can go get all the deets at any of Gordon's social media accounts. All you got to do is go to @GetGordon on any of the social media accounts, or you can go to gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Going to move a little quickly here. Went along with Timmy B. I don't care. It was 24 minutes, 22 minutes. Really well spent.
22.
And you know, look, one of the things I love about Timmy B, like, he is all the things he says, but he knows it and laughs about it. And I love that about him, that he can identify, yeah, like, I have diarrhea of the mouth. You wind me up, I go. I don't shut up. I talk about myself. Like, he acknowledged it, but his stuff is great. I mean, that was a lot of context about game day and Lee Corso that most people have never, ever, ever heard. Like, we've all seen him put the Brutus head thing on. We've heard the story. Like, we've all seen and been witness to it. That's a component of it from the Genesis that a lot of us have never seen. So great perspective. Appreciate Timmy B here. All right, it is after further review. Hey, earlier today, so LSU wrapped up spring practice. Kaleb Jackson met with reporters after. He was awesome. We did at the beginning of the show, the top of the show today, talked about Kaleb Jackson's decision to stay at LSU. Wilson Alexander asked him, can you play this just 3 seconds? Wilson asked him point blank if he was going in the portal.
But just to make it clear, the portal's open, but you're not going in?
No, I'm not going in.
Point blank, not going in the portal. So, and he talked about so much. Talked about listening to a lot of the praise going into his freshman year, believing it. He certainly battled with weight. Listen, this is something you talked about as well. You know, adding weight a season ago, which let me play Caleb's answer. If adding the weight a season ago impacted his play.
It definitely was something I had to learn to play with because really what it was, I'm a big back. So I was like, okay, just put this muscle on, do this and do that. And I still have my speed somewhat. It was just the shiftiness and stuff like that. It's bad on the joints, bad on the hips and stuff like that. So I feel like I lost a step a little bit being that heavy, to be honest with you. So right now I was just in the process of, you know what I'm saying, losing weight, getting back to where I was. And when I feel like I could move around with my speed and still had that power, that bang to break tackles and stuff like that.
Whether it was good weight or bad weight, he can make that decision. Or the bottom line is it affected him. And when you have conversations with people internally within that program, they all say the same thing. Like, Kaleb needed to get in shape. Like, he needed to lose weight. And if he's heading that way, that's awesome. That's another dynamic component of this offense. And I loved this as well. He was asked, this is a great answer. He was asked who inspires him. Give a listen.
You know, my parents weren't blessed. My mom has 4 kids, just her by herself. She's the hardest working woman I've ever met in my life. She didn't give up. She didn't resort to anything else to take away the stress. She didn't do all that. She worked to put me in this position where I can finally take care of her and my other siblings and my future family. So that's my role model. My mother, just to not giving up and stuff like that. Because my family is from here, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So having them in my circle at all times is always amazing. Having to be able to go home, talk to my mama, have to talk to my grandma, have to talk to my father, and all that type of stuff. It really sets my head straight, and makes me want to go harder just for them, just so I can do it in my home state. As a kid from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, went to school down the street. You know what I'm saying? That played an impact when we wanted to stay here and just keep going.
So when you ask about the portal, that's a big part of it, man. His family's down the street. His mom's here. His dad's here. His siblings. You know, he's going to school. You can say, like, help them financially. Yeah, because there's an NIL component of what he's of him being here, now revenue share, and he's going to be able to help his family. Like, it's one of the reasons why, y'all. I know I've told this story before. I'm going to tell it again just very quickly, just in the event that maybe some haven't heard it. I remember I think the world of Kevin Minter. If you're younger, it's weird to think you may not remember Kevin Minter, but he was an All-American in 2012 and had the best linebacker season any of us had ever seen until Devin White. And with total respect to guys like Brady James and Trev Falk, and some amazing players came before him that were awesome players. But Kevin Minter was unconscious in 2012. But for Manti Te'o's fake dead girlfriend, Minter would have been the Butkus Award winner that year and should have been. But anyway, I love Kev. He interned with us here at the station. And I remember when he made the decision to leave, and he redshirted. So he stayed 4 years, but he had a 5th, and it was just a different world where guys stayed 5 years in college. And he left, and I remember he came on the show after he made his decision, and he said, I'm never going to watch my mom struggle again. It's why he made the decision to leave. And it was and that's been 13 years ago now. And so I was still a relative. Let's see, I'm 42, so 32. So I was 29, maybe 30 years old at the time. And to hear that from another relatively young person, a guy that's 21, 22, like when that's not your life experience, it does have an impact on you. I'm telling you, I know this about myself. It's one of the reasons I am so damn bullish on these guys getting paid, whatever they want to make. Like a lot of fans, and I do not mean this in any way to come across as critical. It is just the reality of the situation. Most fans only see these athletes through the TV screen on Saturdays. Like, that's it. And that's okay. Like, it's fine. I'm just telling you, I have a different perspective. It's not better or worse or good or bad. It's just different, which is why I carry the opinion that I do. And, like, you hear Kaleb Jackson talk like that with the reverence for his mother and the way she's worked and never falling into, he said it. It's like, she never fell into substance to take away stress, all she's done is work to support me and my siblings. Now I have a chance to help. And like, it's amazing and very vulnerable and self-aware. And I love that. And so you're going to tell me that guy has an opportunity to make money? Yes, I'm 100% for that kid being able to do, that young man being able to do whatever is best for him and his family. That's the perspective I come from. But that's also a very grounded guy. It makes it very easy to cheer for, right? When 28's on the field and he gets the ball and he goes and plays well, it's easier to stand up and cheer even louder for him. So I loved hearing that today from Kaleb Jackson. Man, it was awesome stuff. So really good sit down during his media availability. It is After Further Review. We're glad you're with us here. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. I keep mentioning, we just talked about Gordon's grads. We keep talking about graduation parties, like reservations over at Supper Club. Remember, graduations come in a lot of times. You buy the graduate in your family a vehicle. Maybe it's the high school grad getting their first car, the college grad moving on. Maybe you are the upcoming college grad. Remember, South Point Volkswagen has a $500 graduation bonus. So if you're a college grad, they'll give you a $500 bonus toward whatever vehicle that you buy over at South Point Volkswagen. That's in addition to all the other great things that they have going on right now. It's at South Point Volkswagen, SouthPointVW.com, SouthPointVW.com. New, certified pre-owned, in Baton Rouge online, SouthPointVW.com. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer is South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Okay. It is After Further Review. Otters coming up here in about a dozen minutes. I got to grab a break. If you're joining us, we went a little long with Tim Brando. Let me knock out a break. I'll catch up a little bit. I don't know. Is the lineup posted yet? Have you looked? We'll check on it.
It's not there yet, no.
Okay, no lineup. I'll see if I can snag it before we get out of here. We'd love to talk about it. I'll give you another thought on LSU and Alabama before we get out of here. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Weekend is here. Maybe you're looking for a Sunday brunch. Well, Sunday, of course, is Easter. Why not do Sunday brunch at the Watermark downtown? Watermark Baton Rouge, our city's premier hotel property. The Gregory is right there in the lobby of the Watermark, the old Louisiana National Bank building, the original high-rise. I tell you all the time, it's gorgeous. A lot of the original art and architecture has been preserved while they've added the modern amenities to make the premier hotel property in Baton Rouge, part of the Autograph collection with Bonvoy. You got to check it out if you've never been inside of the Watermark. And this is a great opportunity for maybe an Easter brunch. You can get your reservations. You can call up to Watermark Baton Rouge there at the Gregory. Or maybe you're looking at next week or an event down the road. Private dining rooms in the old bank vaults, which is such a cool, intimate setting. You got to learn more about Watermark Baton Rouge if you've never been. Experience Watermark Baton Rouge downtown.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, Ice Cubes.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
LSU and Alabama about an hour and 20 minutes away from first pitch. Rob Vaughn, the Alabama head coach, met with reporters before he brought his team to Baton Rouge. And this is a team right now that at Alabama that is really struggling out of the bullpen, really struggling altogether on the mound. They've been run ruled the last 2 Fridays in their series. They're going to pitch, as we've talked about, they're going to pitch backwards this weekend. So they'll go 3-2-1 in their order. Really sets up a massive advantage for LSU tonight with Cade Anderson on the mound against what amounts to kind of like a bullpen day, a whole staff approach for Alabama. And here was Vaughn on his bullpen heading into this weekend.
The bullpen's been outstanding, and I think when you look at games, what you see is you hope you get to a point of the game where you can go to your higher leverage guys, because every staff has that. You have some young players or some guys with some stuff that maybe aren't as consistent yet, and then you kind of have your leverage arms. And so we feel pretty good if we can get the game to a point where either tied or ahead in those late inning situations and go to our higher leverage guys. We've been really successful because I think there's some different looks. You have Colson Buchanan, who's just had a monster last year for us. Matty Heiberg has been great. Braylon Myers has been great. JT Blackwood and kind of those extended situations been great. And then our closer, Carson Osborne's just been a superstar. You know, just we feel like when we toss him the baseball, he's going to find a way to get it done.
I've also been asked a good bit about Brady Neal, who I almost forgot Brady Neal transferred to Alabama. He hasn't been an everyday guy for them this year. He did play in all 3 games against State. It was all 3 games against Auburn. I'll need to go check. I was looking at his game stats yesterday. It's one of those things with Brady Neal where I did get asked a lot by people, why did Brady Neal leave? And as I was told, he kind of wanted assurances of playing time, and that was something that Jay Johnson and the staff weren't going to give. So he did play all 3 games against State. The prior week, he played 2 of the 3 games against Auburn. Before that, just 1 game against Oklahoma, 1 game against A&M. So it's been a little sporadic there for Brady Neal. We'll see if he's out there against his former squad. And look, I don't wish anything negatively to Brady Neal. He, in this era, sought what a lot of guys seek, is the best opportunity for them. And in the same way that LSU went and recruited guys out of the portal, it's hypocritical to welcome portal players and then criticize guys that leave via the portal. It's kind of the funny thing to me with the whole Nico thing. Everyone's lambasting Nico for leaving and how he left. We can have that conversation, whatever, but understand what Tennessee is going to go do to replace Nico is go get a quarterback to leave their team. Like, Nico just left Tennessee. So it's the game of musical chairs that goes. It's kind of what happens when the coaching carousel starts spinning. Somebody loses a coach, guess what they do? Go hire a coach from another team. And so that cycle just continues to spin. But I digress. LSU and Alabama 3-game series this weekend. Tigers have got to go get at least 2 out of 3. They've got a fantastic opportunity to win tonight. I thought last week Cade Anderson was a whole lot better than his line gave. He was victimized in their big inning by an error at third by Tanner Reeves, then a bloop into right. It wasn't like he got peppered all over the yard. There were a couple of bleeders that got through. His command was good and his velo was good. And if I was worried about him throwing 135 pitches, the telltale would be fatigue and command. And I think both those things were fine. Velocity and command. I think both those things were fine. So now you're short rest here, but after only throwing 80 pitches, I would assume Cade Anderson will be fine. And I think LSU coming home for this series is a really big advantage. So I like LSU in this series because I think they're a better team than Alabama. I think we all got collectively very high on Bama early when they swept Texas A&M. But that was at a point where A&M had lost a few, but they were still ranked 19th in the country. And we didn't know yet that A&M was facing what they would until they've now won 5 in a row. But maybe that sweep of A&M at the start of conference play doesn't carry as much weight today as it did at the time. And now we've seen Alabama lose the last 2 weekends against Auburn and Mississippi State. And coming on the road now, floundering a little bit, while LSU is probably backed into a corner after being swept and looking for a big bounce back. So I do like LSU to win the weekend. Tigers have a huge advantage tonight. It'll be a little more interesting in game 2. Riley Quick will go against Anthony Ianson. Quick can get up to 99. He's been out with a blister. So we'll see if that affects him at all. But if Ianson goes out there and pitches the way he's capable, and you've got Evans and Cowan in the bullpen behind, if you don't need them, hopefully you don't need them in game 1. It's a great opportunity to win game 2, and then you see what happens in game 3 when they go throw. Zane. What Adams? My God, I just went completely blank. I was reading a text. I'm sorry. In game 3 against Chase Shores. So we'll see how the Tigers do. I mentioned before, I love that the SEC does this, where everybody plays Thursday, Friday, Saturday on Easter weekend to give everybody Easter Sunday off. A good reset point right here in the middle of conference play. Give everybody a long week going into next week, and see if the Tigers can go get 2 out of 3. I was kind of hoping also that the lineup would be posted before we got out of here. Doesn't look like they're going to oblige. 7 o'clock first pitch, and if you missed it earlier today, Game 2 has been moved to ESPN 2. It was stream only. So you'll have ESPN-U tonight, ESPN 2 on Friday, and SEC Network on Saturday. So all 3 games will be on linear television. You will have a stream option, but all 3 will be on linear television if you want to watch them there. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out our final break of the show. Y'all will come back. Jimmy will be here for Otterlocks. Stick around.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Goodwood, men's sexual wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. That's yourgoodwood.com. Hey, look, I highly recommend you take some time. Maybe you got some downtime Friday or this weekend to learn. You've heard us mention Goodwood. I know a lot of people chuckle because of the name and the logo and all that stuff, and that's fine. Whatever gets you to pay attention is great. Ultimately, what we're talking about here, yes, they do ED treatments, and if you're struggling with ED, they can help. It's not just pills. They have many different types of treatments. But hormone replacement therapy is a massive part of what they do. They also have peptides. Like I told you, I've started on BPC 157, which is there's tremendous research to show the benefits for inflammation and for pain and different things like that. So in recovery. So for me with my back issues, I'm very hopeful that this is something that will help. You can learn more about all the different services in the menu that they offer at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
You work hard every day to pursue a life you love. You put in the time, and it shows. You're forging ahead, chasing a dream, creating something better for the ones you love. You're building your own life. So why not build your own tractor? With John Deere tractors and attachments for almost any need, the Sunshine team can help you do just that. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on this Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical. Not just healthcare for your lifestyle. I've been so thrilled with how many of you have reached out, understanding these are amazing people. Blasia, who is Rivette, is awesome, and was a CV nurse who helped take care of Drew when he was a baby. I'm so bullish on them as an organization. If you need in-home nursing care, whether you're welcoming home a baby to end-of-life care, to recovering from a procedure, or maybe you need someone who can be with you through a treatment at a hospital, medical facility, cancer treatment, whatever it may be, it's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. It's decisioncriticalbr.com, decisioncriticalbr.com. Okay, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance. Now's the time to get that AC unit checked before it really gets hot. Normally $179, just $79 when you mention Otterlocks. Total Maintenance, 480-1000.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
Speaking of Drew, how's my man? Oh, he's still running around the house screaming, "Lock of the week!"
Running around the house screaming, "Lock of the week!" I tell you what. One of his new favorite words is Charles Handegriff. I'm telling you, man. You know what? He falls down these YouTube rabbit holes, and he loves Gordy. And so he's found Gordy interviews on Eagle Game Day with Hanny. And so he's gone down the Charles Handegriff rabbit hole. So Drew knows how to say Charles Handegriff.
Welcome to my world, Drew.
Oh,
man.
So good, man.
That
So
is
good. All right.
Yes.
What are we looking at, man?
Holy Thursday edition of Lock of the Week, man. Let's get to it. Kumar Rocker, we know he's got all the ability in the world, but until he proves it, I think he's a little bit overpriced. His numbers are not good right now. Look, it takes time, and I think he'll be good when he gets a little seasoned. But right now, he's kind of a fade guy right now. So we're going to take the Angels plus 130 against Rocker in that AOS matchup between the Angels and the Rangers. Who's going to have more fans tonight at Steinbrenner Field down in Tampa?
Yankees.
Probably so.
That's not even a question. I mean, that's a very obvious answer.
Well, it is in Tampa Bay. The two have it's
and there's a whole bunch of old people who used to live in New York who now live in Tampa. It's why Steinbrenner moved the facility there. Like, it's going to be a Yankees home game. It'll be 10,000 people there. It's going to be
They'll have a little extra juice for the game. Both teams are starting to heat up what they're hitting. It is a warmer climate down there. We're going to go over 9 in that one. Nice little season debut for Schmidt yesterday for the Yankees. That's much needed. We know they can hit, but that was a good performance by him. But we got over in that one. Charlie and I did a podcast on Bet Rivers this morning. We're going to be doing it every Thursday for the college baseball slate. And so one of the teams, a couple of the games we looked at, I'm putting them together. And LSU, oh boy, this Alabama team, huh? They come into Baton Rouge, more shenanigans with their rotation. So anyway, they're going to flop their rotation, and LSU's got their starter. LSU, hey, look, they can't screw around right now after getting swept in Auburn. I like the win midweek against the top 30 RPI team in McNeese State. LSU money line and Oklahoma money line because, as my boys Outcast would say, Missouri, poo, poo, poo. I mean, 0-15. 0-15. And it's an ugly 0-15. It's not like any close calls. LSU,
man.
I found minus 139 on that money line parlay. We'll see some variance based on the shop.
1 minute
there
remaining.
And I'm going to tack one on, Matt.
Okay.
I'm going to take Oklahoma minus 2.5 as well on the side. There's a visiting team, so they will not, they might run rule them in this thing, which would pay off as well. So I like Oklahoma minus 2.5. That's anywhere from minus something to plus. So right around even money.
All right. Tomorrow we're off, but you are doing a show tomorrow, you and Hanny?
Yeah, don't ever question the work ethic of Live at Lunch.
Yeah.
So it's a good, hey, Rufino's is open. We're open. Live at Lunch tomorrow. Rufino's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Somebody's got to pay for a trip to Monaco. It's Jim. That's Otter. Thank you, Otter. Happy Easter, Otter. We'll talk to you on.
And the grip, crew.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge, no matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111, your law firm for a lifetime.